most of their players are you. So, but yeah, it's this should be an interesting game. This is the first game of both teams. Obviously, we haven't seen them in action just yet, so we'll see what they're going to bring to the table.
Look at that from VP. It's like, okay, we don't care. NIP, so PPD, he won the toss, chose first pick, so VP took Radiant, but it's the fact that now NIP, like they open with an IO, and VP almost block pick with a gyrocopter. But is that something you really want to block pick with? Like, is he still good enough now that he just built his own Aghanim Scepter?
They have the best mid gyro player in the world, I think. And they have one of the best carry gyros in the world too.
I was about to say, you want to put it on mid? It's not Ramses?
It's just, I think it's more of a flex pick for VP than other teams because no one loves this hero. He is super good on mid gyro. So, I think they have to hesitate less with making this decision of grabbing up the gyro compared to other teams. I don't think they would have picked it if the IO wasn't chosen by NIP for sure. But yeah, more than anything, it's maybe a bit weird to show two cores like this rather than steal away the gyro. But Centaur is also a really great hero to get against that IO. Compared to last game, we have some different choices in terms of bans. Neither Chen nor Ench being banned just yet.
And both heroes got ignored in the first phase as well.
Yeah, so they could definitely be second phase pickups. I don't think NIP is going to go for Chen when they have IO. That's pretty weird. But for VP, Gyro is a good type of carry hero to play Chen with. I would not even be too mad at the possibility of a position 4 or 5 Enchantress if they like that. We'll have to wait and see. One of the hero that I'm looking at the most right now for VP for a couple of reasons is actually Disruptor, because solo is king of this hero. It's good against IO. It's good with Centaur in many ways. You run the enemy team down and then you glimpse them back. And he also arguably has a pretty strong lane carry to play it with in Gyrocopter, so if they want to go that route. Looks like a pretty solid choice for VP here, but we've got some bans to get through first. Here goes Grimstroke from NIP, the Slark being banned out from VP. Solid ban, good hero against both Gyro and Centaur. So don't want to risk that, even though maybe not the best friend with IO.
Well, it's actually just bringing up some numbers, because I was wondering, like, after the first round of games, like, who was the most banned hero? And Enchantress is still number 1. She's seven bans out, and Alchemist is second with 6 bans so far.
And Chen is
and Chen's third. Yeah,
okay, come on.
And they go 7, 6, and 5.
Come on, guys, you need to ban Chen some more. For no reason, surely.
I do love how the fact, like, a lot of the most banned heroes are the ones that we've actually got to cast, like the Alchemist, the Ember, the Ancient Apparition, and the SD. Like, we got 4 of them.
Yeah, I think a lot of those AA bans maybe force the other team to ban Alchemist, and that's why the dynamic has been like that. Maybe. It's possible. So,
do you think that's very advantageous from NIP with their logo, where it's like, you know, we're just gonna put NIPs, like, we're gonna slap it on an Aegis? It's like,
that's good luck.
If it's a good luck. Like, I don't know. We've seen some teams come into TI with a lot of confidence. Remember Team Secret walking in with their glasses, like, "Yo, boys, like, we so cool, we got this." Oh no.
I always interpreted it as, like, you know, like Team Secret, and then it was like secret agents, so they were all wearing those sunglasses to, like, be a bit agent-like. That's how I interpreted it the whole time. And
really?
I mean, obviously they were confident too. I'm not gonna say they weren't, but I thought it was kind of on brand in a way when they did that. It was a bit secret-esque to wear sunglasses like that, a bit agent-like. But they didn't bring their suitcases, so they forgot their strategies, and then they got knocked out. So that's too bad. But that's in the past. It's 3 years ago. Life goes on, and so far Secret are looking good today. They're 2-0.
Yep.
With supposedly pretty ridiculous comeback against Alliance they had in one
game. They were megged, and then they pushed back, and then their set game 2 was done in 22 minutes. Yeah. So it was a quick and fast one. Let's actually talk about, like, VP. Like, you talk about like a team from like 3 years ago. Like, all CIS teams just seem to reach TI, and then they all just fall apart once it's time to get massively serious. And Virtus.pro are a team who, like, especially this one, like, they either joke around, they're drinking a hell of a lot, they're smoking till all hours of the evening, they're playing around with the RU Hub guys, but they're still a massively talented team. But sometimes things just don't click. And I'm wondering if this is the TI when things will actually just click.
It could be. I don't think there's any reason to expect VP to do significantly worse than in the past, at least. They have looked great this year as well. Maybe not that hot just leading into this.
Yeah, but Epicenter didn't seem to go too well.
No.
And there was some discussions that there was, like, some internal, like communication wasn't as clean as it needed to be for them. And I know a lot of that was centered around Solo's position as well, which is interesting when you actually see who's drafting here. It's not Solo who's drafting, it's Ramses who's the man with the little captain's head on.
I think maybe at Epicenter, one thing VP would have maybe tried to avoid this year compared to last year was fatigue. And they maybe didn't practice very hard or didn't like put in all the... I know it was a home turf tournament, so I don't think they were slacking, but maybe they weren't like drilling themselves really hard because they also wanted to get that little bit of rest in, reset, get the that hunger for the game back so they could go into TI really hot. Hopefully for them that's what it was and how it's going to work out. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see how their first games go, right? What form they're in.
Same thing as as watching Newbie in the last rounds. Like, I wonder how these guys are going to work. Like, are they ready? Are they looking fired up?
They were ready.
They were totally ready.
Really good.
Like, even with Game 1 draft, like, it's like, you get thrown a Beastmaster and Zeus at the very beginning. It's just going to mess you up. It's like, actually, no, we're just going to draft a little differently. We're going to pick our support in our 5th positions. Like, sure, we're fine with this. Let's just go. Now
back to this game.
Yeah, back to this game.
Got a couple of picks to catch up on.
Yeah, we're looking at a 1-stun lineup right now from NIP.
And that stun's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, it's better than it used to be in terms of duration, but they don't have too much to work with. And I have to say, I love the Silencer pick when they picked this. This hero is, I think, really, really good in Dota right now. We haven't seen it played yet this tournament, I think. In the drafts that we looked at, Silencer was not picked, I believe. He may have been picked in one game overall, but not the ones that we had a quick look at, I believe.
Not for us. And I've got him here as he wasn't
unpicked hero.
He was an ignored hero until this point.
It's not been too many games. It's been 10 games until this, I guess. No, 8. Right?
Yeah, you'd have eight in the first round.
8 games played until now. So
so very small sample size. Nahas are probably very annoyed at us already.
Yeah. But
hey,
I want to say,
Thanks.
I think Silencer could be a big thing here at TI this year. I think the hero is really good for a couple of reasons. It's a flex pick. He's a good core now. He's been buffed quite a bit as a core. As a support, he offers really strong laning compared to many other supports. The just reliability of having an orb attack that hits that hard is really good. Solo uses that very well. And, Global Silence. Great tool against IO. Sure, now you don't cancel the relocate, but they're going to relocate in and be silenced. That sucks. Catching and going into silencer lineups is really difficult. And if we saw anything in the last game, Dota's hard to play when you can't catch and kill a hero in the game.
Yeah.
And Silencer's very good at dealing with this. So I love that hero. The Lich response for NIP doesn't particularly make much sense to me. I don't think the support duo of Lich IO is very good. They have no disable. There's a bit of a save in the IO relocate plus the Lich armor, but the Lich armor isn't really good here. It's a lot of magic damage, and then they even pick the Lina into it to have even more magic damage. And the Juggernaut response from NIP also doesn't really tick the box for me. I kind of get what they're going at with playing like IO Jug. They have healing. They want to group up and take fights, but do they
force the issue early on?
Do they have what it takes to force a favorable fight is the question. I think this last pick that is probably going to be a Fata hero has quite a bit of work to do, and he's going to be picking into a blind matchup because this could be a position for Lina.
That's a lone Druid. Well, they needed...
That's a push strat. Okay.
Yeah. They needed some early aggression. They needed something that gives them some control. So Savage Roar at least allows them some level of control against the Stampeding Virtus Pro.
Wait, what's Fata playing? Tiny?
I think Fata's playing the lone Druid, man.
Nah, man, that's got to be Ace.
Is it
Ace or
Ace?
33.
On Druid?
Yeah. I think it's a 33 lone Druid. Is that a mid-Wisp?
You know,
it might be a mid-IO.
You're going to run Tiny support and then put Fata on an IO, or like...
Okay, in order of likelihood.
That's a 5 Lich then.
I think the most likely is Tiny mid. The second most likely is that Fata plays IO. I think that's more likely than him playing lone. He has 2 exceptional lone Druid players in his team. 33's lone Druid is really, really good.
I'm surprised you go that way. I think this is actually a 3-position Tiny, a 1-position Jug, and a 2-position Druid, and they actually go very like alliance style in this.
But would you put Fata on the lone Druid over 33 in this team? I don't think that's how they play.
Hey, I'm okay for them to put him on the Tiny if you want to do that.
I
Just
think
maybe just different lanes.
I think they'll put him at Tiny. I think so. And then Lich is going to play with Jug, And oh, dude, I actually don't know what's going on.
Oh.
Okay, that is a bad matchup for both Lone Druid and Tiny. Okay, Fata, what are you gonna play?
Yep,
there it is.
Druid. No,
there it is.
Never,
It's the
never
Tiny.
doubt you, Sin. Never doubt you unless I doubt you.
How dare you question my knowledge?
Why is that?
I almost sounded like a villain from video game. Okay, so yeah, 33 lone.
What is this cosmetic?
Oh, you haven't seen that one?
Oh no, I haven't seen the face.
It's from one of the Immortal Treasures, I think. No, it's from the cache. It's from the Collector's Cache, I think.
It's just like, okay, it's a parrot.
No, it's great.
Caca.
It's great. That's a dope necro
Yeah.
outfit.
See, like it can't be a necro light. It's like, you know what it reminds me of?
I was gonna say lineup, but that's not the word for what you're wearing.
It reminds me of the
Outfit.
the deformed bird from Full Metal Alchemist.
I have not watched that.
Okay.
So I don't.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know.
Well, it's
I don't get that reference, Toby.
It's,
but he looks like a
the,
bird.
The sun god Leto brought forth this bird.
That's the only thing this reminds me of from like anything is like in Egyptian mythology, is it Ra that's bird? Somebody's a bird.
Yeah,
He reminds me of that bird guy from Egypt. Okay. Don't remember exactly who it is. That's the best I got. Okay, I think it's pretty clear in this game what the teams are going for in terms of overall strategy. NIP has a very clear group up, try to push and fight lineup, and on the other side, VP have more of a, like, in a way, well-rounded laning lineup with good team fight and the global sounds to play around. And I gotta say, I love the last pick, Necrophos. No one plays a great Necrophos. He has good core matchups in this game. He's either going to play against Lone Druid, which Lone Druid hates because the bear keeps taking damage from the aura, or he's going to be playing against a mid-Tiny who also hates that matchup because he is a high HP hero, so the Heartstopper aura, the more health you have, the more dangerous it is. So what it looks like NIP will be doing is putting 33 on mid, Lone Druid, and Tiny from Fata will go off lane.
Yes.
With the build.
So I'm fine with the people who's playing it, and I'm actually fine with the laning phase for how it's going to go down too.
I don't think this is 33's Lone Druid is very good, so I'm curious to see if he can draw or even win this lane, because Lone Druid is an exceptional laner. But this has got to be one of the worst matchups you've got, especially when Necrophos starts hitting those high levels in the Heartstopper aura. Might see something like a 1-1-3 build or even a 2-0-3 from the Necro. And just constantly hitting that bear. Just keep threatening the bear, and eventually it can't lane anymore. And that's when things get bad for Lone. If his bear can't lane, the hero sucks. It's just bad in lane then. It goes from good to bad.
It's like, hey, Io, can you come in and just heal up my bear for me instead?
Yeah.
Like, if that's the point you get to, you know it's a sad day.
And that's why that was something else we were very briefly touching on in the draft about this Lina pick. When they picked it, VP, I was like, this is open-ended because it can be a 4. And that's exactly what they did. So they're like, okay, we have this Lina hero that can both be a support and a strong mid against almost anything. And if they pick a mid hero against our Lina, we put it support and we get a better matchup mid. So I really like the way VP kind of tailored their draft around always staying like one step ahead, kind of. If you can do that a second pick, you're in a really good spot in the draft because you know you have that trump card in the end. And it never, to me, felt like in the draft, the way it progressed, that that NIP were clearly ahead with their first pick. So I think VP are feeling very confident and happy about this. And now it's going to come down to, well, can NIP group up and get this ball rolling? Because that's what their lineup does, right? It's got to be some sort of an avalanche, no pun intended, by the way, if their lineup's going to win.
Hey, I'll take the pun. I'll take the pun. But yeah, it really does need to have some momentum for NIP to come, and like a lot of pressure then on Fata to make sure he actually has a half decent lane so you can get that blink dagger, you can be aggressive, and that's what VP is already looking to do. They move aggressively up, that means up on top lane. NIP look for their own fight, but into Parsha won't happen. So a straight 2-2 route.
Yep. And well, safe lane Gyro Silencer is actually a beastly lane. That is really strong. Tiny is an interesting hero in lane because he has really high health but 0 armor. And what usually ends up happening with Tiny is once you start getting harassed down, in the start you feel really strong, right? 'Cause you're like, oh man, I'm so tanky, I have so much health. But then you run out of regen. You're like, man, I'm so tanky, and then shit, I only get half my health bar from a salve.
Yeah.
So he needs this IO to sustain him very well. And you're going to see Solo get to business with the glaives. Non-stop going to be trying to trade here. and start draining out their region. He is just not going to give up. He'll just keep hitting him. Yeah, hit him again and again.
Yeah.
And then again.
And there's only so much regeneration the IO can give. It's like 1.7. Sure.
Yeah. And what the Silencer will eventually do is he'll run out of mana, and then he's probably going to go suicide to the tier 2 tower, come back with a full tank, and go again. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Top lane, Lina Centaur. It's a weird situation where both heroes kind of want the other guy to set up, because Centaur can't really catch first, especially against Jugger. Lina also wants someone else set up.
Yeah, with the spin from Ace, that's a lot of extra damage, and Roger's got the distance, but not the speed. Maybe he's got the life with the Fairy Fire. Yeah, Ace will break off. And that'll be a salve being burned by Roger.
Oh, he has a lot of regen on Lina. He went he had 9 Tango salve. Okay. And then he pulled the Tangos to mid, and then they have their own Tangos on Silencer. Ah, I like that. If one guy can buy 9 Tangos, and that guy pulls mid, think about how much this helps solo in the dynamic, right? Usually the safe lane support in this situation starts with 4 Tangos, but solo, either they gave 1 each, or solo started with 6. And if he's playing this trading style Silencer, having that extra little bit of Tangos can actually go a long way. So it's cool. I like it, this game. It's very different. Last time I've seen somebody start with 9 Tangos in general, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So
the silence deepens.
We're into a different territory with the teams. This is
that's what you want to see from VP though. Like
chat wheel boys.
Do you actually see the back and forth discussion? Like the first pause where VP's like, "Well, are you just pausing to mute us all?" I guess is that what you need at the moment?
What was that? I genuinely couldn't hear you over the sound. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear what you were saying because of the voice line.
That's all you hear.
I didn't know what you said. I don't know if that emphasized your point or whatever.
No, well, in a way it did. It's like like VP were mocking, like Ramses was saying, like, "Hey, NIP, you're gonna mute us," like kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I would. So.
Everyone be muted in your game already. You're used to high tier Dota. Just hit that mute button. Communication's not important.
No, it's. I mean, the voice lines can get to you in games. Like at TI, you saw in the documentary, right? The True Site that LGD were muting. They were muting OG because it was too much, you know. So it's a mental game.
But how do we know when they call GG?
Yeah. So 33 was off to a good start in mid, but now no one is catching up, and he's starting to get more points. He actually took 2 in Death Pulse. A bit surprised by that. I thought he was going to go 2 in Aura. But maybe secures CS more reliably with this extra 50 damage of the Death Pulse, and now even going to find the region. How nice.
Yeah, he didn't even need much of it. He's sitting at half of his mana pool. My god, this game's definitely got a lot of issues. It looks like to begin with, it was Fada who was having some problems. Now we're still sticking down the bottom lane.
Can I take a bite out of my crunchy bar?
You, no, Sin. No. You're banned from food.
Damn it.
Just wait for the next person who's going to come in here and cast, and there's just like crumbs all over this pristine mouse pad.
I'll clean up. Don't worry. I'm on it.
I'm sure. Alright, we'll go to stream 4 at the end for the last series of today. We'll just go in there and just gonna be like cans everywhere. It's like, who was in here? Who was in here?
Clean up after yourselves, kids.
Hey,
and adults.
You know what you actually need? Like sometimes you need like those sanitary wipes. Where during Epicenter, like I came up to cast after Owen had been casting, and I just put the headset on, and it didn't even touch my face, but there was this spray that just came from the mic flicking slightly. It was just like
that's slightly disgusting. Actually,
yeah,
it's quite disgusting.
It's quite disgusting. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some clips of OD casting, and saliva for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's
if you ever
enough to go around.
If you ever get a chance to get anywhere near a caster's desk after you've had like Owen casting, Cap does it as well, where they primarily cast off the program screen. Just look a little to the side and across it with a little bit of light, and you'll see just how much spit spray.
So what would you rather have? Would you rather have the oats from the crunchy bar or the saliva, Toby, if you could choose?
I would have the oats from the crunchy bar.
There you go.
That's not a hard choice.
There you go.
That's such an obvious choice. No, I don't want someone else's saliva. Thank you very much.
There you go. I'm safe then. Okay, back into the game.
Yeah. Unpause has happened. Thanks for our filler content, sponsored to you by, well, a couple of spaced out characters on the NIP lineup.
Yeah, this it's a relatively quiet laning stage so far. I don't think it's too surprising how this is going. The Juggernaut Lich lane is having a good time against these heroes that are very spell reliant, so Jugger is good against that. The Lone Druid has a bit of a head start against Necro, but he's probably going to get overtaken eventually. Looks like it's going to be a draw for now, but you would imagine when this, again, this Heartstop aura is actually causing big problems for the bear. Has to resummon here. Let's look at how much damage it deals, right? You see that? It's like, it's about 50 DPS on the bear right now.
I've watched top lane though, Roger. Bunch of Storm's able to buy him a little bit of space, same with stick charges. We're watching bears tick.
Looks like Ramses will get flasked by Solo. What's the region status bottom? Io has a salve left and Tiny bought a bottle. So they both want bottle, actually, in this bottom lane. That's a lot of bottle. And a very little bit of stats. 0 to be exact.
All right.
I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this. If they both go bottle, I kind of... I feel like maybe Tiny can buy this bottle and then just give it to the Io. And they play the lane.
My god, 33 is actually going to lose his bear.
Is it dying? It's okay. It's okay.
Yep. Pull it up.
Recall TP'd out.
Yeah. Anything to stop the death pulse from connecting.
I think, so without knowing too much about this matchup right now, I think Lone Druid has 1 minute right now, or 30 seconds, to play super aggro on this Necro and try to kill him. If Necro skills Ghost Shroud level 5, he will not die to the Lone. If he goes for the Aura on level 5, he is killable. And what 33 needs to do is he needs to pull the bear back, level it up so it gets the Entangle, and then he needs to play super hard on the Necro. Currently, no one is saving his skill point. He actually went 3 in Death Pulse. Okay. I feel like he's killable, especially with any rotation. Let's see what he does here. So 33 is going for it a bit here. Good damage.
Oh my god, he's actually getting so much damage in.
If he gets another root, he dies here.
Oh, no one runs up the hill. Where's that root? Where's that chance? Lena's going to go down in the meantime. Roger up on the top lane. Underneath the tower, still no root. 33 just can't get anything. The Death Pulse connects. And with the creep wave, he's just taken so much damage. But the rest of NIP still did its work up on top. So it's been a matter of time before Roger will be pushed out of the lane.
Yep.
But now the battle for the 5-minute runes will begin.
Bottom lane homing missile. It's a bit early.
And you still got a lot of life coming in from the IOE salving up. And with the toss, throw him around. Fada just wants a little bit of extra space to get back. Zasa's going to try and also tank up as much as he can, but cannot save Fada's life. And this is going to be another +2. 4 in total for Silencer.
That Curse of the Silent ruined Tiny there. He had to toss, and he extended the curse with that. I think he was cursed before he avalanched on the rune as well, and they end up both dying, like you said, +4 in for Silencer. Very nice from Solo here. I think the choice to go 2-1 build in this case is perfect. You're more or less guaranteed to get double curses non-stop against Io Tiny, and they are both very spell reliant, so you know you're going to extend that curse for the extra damage. So nicely done. Yeah, mid lane. I feel like no one got lucky. I actually feel like he flat out got lucky there and probably should have died. And it's one of those moments where after you die, you're like, man, I definitely should have got 1 point Ghost Shroud. But since he got away with it, he got away with it, and that's good news for him.
Yep. And when you force 33 back into the jungle, because he had to resummon again, he has to play around this cooldown time. But what does that style do? He's already smoked. Oh,
style.
Hey, that's the wrong one. Solo smoked up with 4 Observer Wards. They're planning in for the vision. Roger up on top, slowed down, just TPs away to safety. Knows he's got enough life to do that. And in fact, he only TPs out towards the tower, so they can turn around, come in, and now Solo has arrived. You get the curse out. They're chasing down Ace, isolating PPD instead. It's all a +2. It doesn't matter which one it goes. And you can't slow him down enough. Maybe a denial from the neutrals. Yes, it will.
That was pretty sexy.
Yeah, that's, yeah. All right, sure, you'll take it.
He still gets the int, though.
He does. Why does that work that way?
It's an aura. If a hero dies in range, you get the int. It's working as intended. That's what it says on the skill. Oh, it says any hero that dies within 925 range.
So it still removes it. Like, so everyone could die to Roshan, and they would go -2, and you go +2.
Yeah. It's flat out just if the hero dies in range of Silencer.
They're going after no one. Mr. No Point Ghost Shroud just never gets entangled by 33.
I don't know if I'm missing something here, but I feel like a 4-0-2 build is strange. I think maxing Aura against Lone is good, and I think getting 1 point Ghost Shroud against Lone is also good. Maybe this is just for flat out faster lane push, so you can get runes.
keep
But
the pressure on
this
the
was
tier
not
1
the skill
tower.
build I was expecting out of this lane. Oh, he's reaping the bear. Nice play. Oh, 33 so good at Lone Druid, dude.
Meanwhile, Aya's going to go down. Punch is going to try and complete his TP out of the top lane, but PPD pulls him back in with the Sinister Gaze, the pass shot. Man, the stick charges and the double brace are still not enough to keep him alive. And Roger, Line Strike Array, Ace, just easy dodges.
I hope we can get a replay of that Reaper Scythe mid, so I can explain what happened there.
I was watching it, so I think we can.
It's a bit counterintuitive, unless you know the hero very well, what is happening here. But there's some pretty cool things you can do with Lone Druid, so I hope we get a replay of that and explain it when it happens. Okay, top rune, Illusion. Looks like 33 is going to grab that on his hero, and the rest of the map looks relatively quiet for now. So, oh, maybe not. Yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah, we're good for now, unless Fada wants to ever played at Ramses, who is low and there is no support for him at the moment. Silence is making his way back over, so yeah.
Okay.
No, it's quiet. It's quiet enough.
Yeah. I'm assuming we're not going to get a replay. That's fine. Okay, so basically what you can do as Lone Druid is you can save a skill point in Summon Spirit Bear, and then when you level it up, it teleports, or it like resets kind of. So what he did was while the bear was getting killed by Reaper's Scythe, he leveled it up, and then he resummoned it too. So it got out of the Reaper's Scythe stun, and he resummoned the bear, so it didn't get killed by the Reaper's Scythe ulti. So very, very specific scenario, which will not happen again this game because he can't level it up like that again. But that was a nice play coming out from 33. I do believe it worked like that. He didn't lose the bear.
Well, goes this out. Is Tiny, who's in trouble on the bottom lane. Ramses puts the cooldown down, so Fada can't just walk away. And maybe with a little of extra regeneration from the IO? No, even then, still not enough.
I love Gyro, man. Enjoy your nap! I should maybe leave that voice to Slacks. He's probably better at it.
I don't. You're pretty close, man. You're pretty close.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah. But Gyro does need to have that sort of grating level to their voice that Slacks has.
Look at the Lone Druid Bear mid, how much damage it's taking here from the wave and the aura. This is while it has Spirit Link and the Mask of Madness running. So you imagine without those two things, the bear is just, you're going to see the DPS coming in now.
The bear just runs over. So I don't care. I need to check this. I need to pull the creep wave up.
Yeah.
Well, Sinister Gaze, Ramses is alright. Well, if you want to fight, we'll fight. Homing Missile will protect PPD, and Ace doesn't want anything to do with this just yet. It's the 10-minute bounty runes they really want to get. No one's moving over, so he can't get the top rune, but man, that Death Pulse hits hard. And Ace just wants to spin himself away to safety.
Yep. No one was faking out the Reaper Scythe, hoping to bait the spin earlier, but Ace didn't fall for it. Got away. Bit of damage mid. This is something you will see the really strong teams do. They are very, very good at defending their mid tower quickly. And no one... He let the bear hit that mid tower once with DD, instant glyph TP and save it. Don't want to lose that out. Let's see if he goes to try to Reaper this bear. Probably soon.
Toss back. Fada. Yeah, he's got him. No, he doesn't. I thought he was going to drag him all the way back to the Ire. The Duxer was a little bit too far away.
Yeah, Roger is fine.
Man, 33 really doesn't care about hitting into Necro. Take out the catapult. Take out every other creep.
I think this is a player who has really good knowledge of the matchup, the way 33 is playing this. So there's a lot of details going into this that he's doing. Oh, are we going to see the Reaper here? I think we are. That's the replay we have right now. So notice the bear. It's going to get Reapered now. He now levels it up, summons it back to himself, and resummons the bear.
Can we actually watch that one again in as slow motion as we can? We're going to have some time because they're going to need to change out a PC,
so
it seems.
When the bear is taking damage...
Oh, we have a different one here.
Okay.
This is the Sinister Gaze play up on top.
That one is easier to explain. He got hit and died. That was that kill. Okay, so when the bear takes damage for 3 seconds, hero-based damage, it can't be recalled by alone, right? So what the Necrophos did, when he hits the bear now, it's not recallable. But when you level up the bear, it resets. So what you're going to see now is he's going to hit the bear with the Death Pulse, and now Reaper it. So now it can't be recalled. You see it's on cooldown on the Spirit Bear right now, 2 seconds. But by skilling it up, the bear resets. It resets its cooldown. So that's also why if you get an Entangle on level 3 bear, you can level up the bear to level 4 and reset the Entangle cooldown. So you can get 2 in a row. You've seen Bulldog do that, for example, in the past. And the logic is the same on this resummon for the bear. So basically, he totally reset his unit, saved it, and it might seem like a minor thing, but saving a bear is huge. If that bear dies to Reaper's Scythe, it's the same as killing Lone Druid. It gives 300 golden experience. It's a massive advantage for no one to get that kill. So yeah, it's just great display of this hero. And Lone Druid is one of those heroes where you can really tell if a guy's an expert. There's so many small things, like knowing things like that. It's one thing to know it, it's another one to do it in the heat of the moment. His knowledge of the matchup right now, I'm very impressed by how 33 is approaching this lane, because I know it's hard for Lone. What he's doing is he's pulling the wave away from Necrophos some of the time so the bear doesn't get hit by the aura. And now that he has both this Mask of Madness and Spirit Link, he goes and farms the creep wave only when these two are up, because then he can out-heal the aura. And the moment they go on cooldown, he runs away with the bear again.
And this is why you want to see 33 play this hero.
Yes. And I mean, I can't say for sure, but I will tell you with a very high probability that Fata would not be doing all of these things, just because it's a special. It's an expert hero the way it gets played by 33. It's a specialty.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things. One more thing I want to mention about the cooldowns is that Spirit Link has a 22-second cooldown on level 4, and the Mask of Madness has a cooldown of also 22 seconds. So they overlap perfectly, and conveniently enough, that cooldown is lower than the respawn of a creep wave. So he can farm the creep wave every time these are up, back off, maybe farm a little bit of jungle, and then come back and do it again. So really nice. I mean, that was a lot of detail about one hero, but you know, it's the kind of thing that's kind of cool when you get to see it in detail like this. Because if you go in your own games and you're like, man, I just saw 33 play against Necrophos as Lone Druid. It wasn't a problem. I'll just pick Lone Druid into Necro. And then you get dumpstered. You're like, what happened? And all of these things are why he's tied. He's ahead by 200 gold. It's a draw, basically. And that's serious. That's it. That's all of these things. So excellent stuff from him. Yeah. The rest of the game, or the rest of the map, has been a little bit more self-explanatory what's going on. You know, heroes casting spells. We saw the kill with the Jugger and Centaur. Yeah. Could explain that in detail too. Jugger hit and then took damage. Died.
Thanks, Enderin. You know what, sometimes the hardest thing for an analyst is not just explain the most. I just breathe. It's like, yeah. Okay, you really see the difference in the levels. Yeah.
Oh man, this voice line. Who thought that was a good idea?
There's a lot of things which, like, you actually just make like a second voice line wheel. I have. Whoop, hang on. Oh, that's right. I had to change my binding, so I have a console on my voice wheel now. What a sad thing.
Oh wow. You know what I just noticed?
What?
When you click through these players, a lot of them have really high level battle passes, right? And you know how you get shovels. And when you have a high level battle pass, you have a lot of shovels.
Yeah.
Roger has used all of his multiple hundred shovels. He's level 2500 battle pass and he has 0 shovels left.
My god.
For comparison, the Necrophos still has over 300. Ramses almost has 500.
There's 9
and
on
Pasha
9
has
on
like 400. Use your shovels. You might dig up a Roshan. What are you waiting for?
Maybe this is a support thing. Like the cores are always doing something and the supports sometimes just have to wait.
No,
they've always got shovel time.
The supports are like, wow, I can get something in the game. That's it. They're like, wow, I can get something that has value. Because when I play the game, I don't get things that have value. The cores get things that have value.
I think as far as the support's life goes, like, there's been so many things to make their lives easier.
Absolutely.
Like ward casting, couriers, like the amount you get back from wards for killing it, the double tomes which are out as well, which for some reason we're seeing. Actually, no, it's because it got delivered. Like the IO is holding it.
Yeah.
There, level 6 up, and we're restarted up.
We are back.
Back.
Okay, so let's have a look at items. Lone Druid Necrophos looks to be building in toward early Greaves. At least the mech is coming up. That's his first item after Mono Boots on the Necrophos. Did do 1 value bracer, I think, on the way. Yep, he did. It's coming out in Courier. Pasha is going Hood, double bracer on Centaur. And for the Gyrocopter, it's the Axe Rush that we've seen quite a lot. On the other side, for Chorus, Jugger looks to be going Manta first item. Lone Druid wants to go for Mask of Madness Radiance, and Tiny with the Treads into Blink. So nothing too surprising overall. Debatable whether going for the mech first on Necro is the right choice here. I think it's good. But there are definitely other options that he could have pursued. You see the bear pull again here in mid.
It feels like it makes a lot of sense when VP want to be the aggressors. Like if you're like they're moving towards a good Aghanim's timing over on Ramsey's having the mech push down the lanes nice and fast. Because they've got the extra burst damage that can come in from their support by running Roger on that Lina.
It's also about just being able to match NIP's tempo, right? When you look at that draft and you know they're going to come at you as 5, you want to have that wall where you can be like, well, if you guys are going to come with us, we can stand and fight. That's why I like the mech here. But you know, in other games on Necrophos, you will see other build-ups. Maybe you will go for like a hood on the way as value. You would get maybe a movement item like Force Staff. Sometimes we see Radiance. No one especially has liked going Radiance in the past, but this time around it seems to be the auras that he is prioritizing. I think you could make a case for Radiance too in this game, to be honest, but I like this more this time around. Okay, is he going to try to kill the bear? That was kind of in kill range, I think.
I just love it. He uses the Death Pulse to actually make it so that the bear can't get the instant last hit on the creep. Instead he gets the denial on the range creep thanks to the Death Pulse.
Yeah, maybe that's why he maxed it out to get denies. It's possible. He's got a good amount.
Just to mess with him. Vada, stampede forward. Pasha has to run through all the pebbles. There's a toss up, but it's right on top of Ramses, who keeps with the Rocket Barrage going. And Tiny, how much life you've got? Damage reduction PPD arrives. And Vada back to the trees.
That was a very late cooldown from Ramses. I think he mistimed that a little bit. If the second missile hits on that cooldown, maybe they can pursue, but like this they can't. Mid tower goes to 33. He manages to take the tower once again, has not lost a bear to Necro.
Just keeps the pull up
to the jungle. To me, this is the standout individual performance of the game so far has been watching mid for me. It's always cool to see stuff like this. It's world class lone druid play. I've praised him enough now, haven't I?
Yeah. I think it's time to move on. But you had a good 5-10 minutes worth of downtime during the pauses. So it's like, hey, if you would.
It was very convenient that in these pauses there was some cool detail to actually dig into that took 2 minutes like that. That was convenient. Very good. Great pick, NIP. Good job.
Yeah.
Let's praise PPD for picking Lone Druid for this.
I'd like to give a shout out to everyone who was involved. It's longer than a speech. No one. And that's high movement speed thanks to the haste stream, but he can't get through his own damn creep wave to chase the Juggernaut into the trees. That was definitely not part of the plan. Fada has a Blink Dagger as well, which is sitting over in the tree line. They're trying to keep it secret. So now PPD as well as Fada, they're able to smoke up.
Yep, there comes the move. This is a good timing for them. No real mid move to be made though. The tower's already gone, so
the move is top.
They might cross the entire map, and
33 is actually leaving. He's heading down south because he still wants to keep farming up the Radiance. He doesn't want to fight.
You know, I love this play for an IP. It's just too late. They could have maybe fought for their tower and then got the bounties.
Oh, they got.
And like this, they only get to fight for the bounties. It's still good. That's
Avalanche,
a
toss combination. Solo's already down very quickly.
Didn't know about the dagger.
So both bounty runes on bottom lane go the way of NIP.
3 for 1.
Yeah, surprise dagger.
That's good. Yeah, if they're 10 or 20 seconds earlier on that, they maybe even fight for their tower. Maybe they get a core kill and then still get the runes, but it's still a good move. Absolutely.
And they still want to try and fight. Obviously, no one with the mech, but 33 is adding some pressure on bottom lane. So if VP want to go for something, they'll have to push it hard. And the tier 1 tower in mid lane, that's the easiest target.
There's the relic for Lone.
He still wants to finish the Radiance before he joins the fights, and that's why VP need to push this. Take the tier 1 tower in the window available, Fada. You can get a toss back, but there's no one really there to work with. PPD's coming up through the rear. Tries to shield the tower. The Juggernaut's not looking to fight. Now the first TP does begin in from the Juggernaut. Fada, the tower, it does go the way of Ramses. And Haste, it feels like he's just arrived a little too late.
Yeah,
33's obviously done the work on bottom lane, but...
That's not a good TP. They seem to either indecisive or it's just a bad call from Ace 2. I don't think there's any value in showing up here after the tower's down to farm this wave. He could have farmed something else. His teammates were already there, so maybe a little bit of
maybe he needed to move to the secret shop to pick up the mana style.
Yeah, then you might as well port to the triangle, right, and farm that.
Yeah.
Let your teammates take mid, and then you can take your item. But perhaps this is better because IO takes the jungle. I don't know. That's a minor thing anyway. It's not too big of a deal.
And PPD is such a long way down. Like, he's not doing that without like having some extra vision. And Artstyle knows it. I think PPD's looking for his own little battle to get rid of that.
Maybe Artstyle knows it too, but then it's because he's watching the stream.
I mean, Solo.
Dude, it's actually, why would they do this?
It's
Why
just-
is his
it's
nickname
just-
Art Style as a sponsor, and
Yeah.
Ramses' nickname is Afro Ninja as a
Yeah.
sponsor? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. It's not like it was like their former coaches. Anyway. Put my jet lag brain back into gear again.
Get back in the game.
Yeah, come on, Troy Bolton it.
It's just been a relatively quiet game. Like
It
this
really
is,
has.
This is not VP-esque. That is not a classic VP game. 4 kills in 17 minutes for VP.
It's like, hey, they're getting mech. They're looking to push it a little bit faster. No, Greaves is now completed. Now they're looking to
Well, they did push mid. NP just didn't want to fight.
Yep.
So I mean, it's very quiet. Pretty strategic game so far, though, with the things we have pointed out. And the question is now, when it comes to transitioning into the later portion of the mid game, like, do you think the Lone Druid can do enough? Like, that's my question, because he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, but he also has a terrible matchup against this Necrophos still. Like, even if you're farmed, your bear doesn't like this. It just flat out doesn't like this. And maybe we'll see him go for, I'm not sure what route he's going to take, if he can just maximize damage so that the lifesteal can sustain the bear, or if there's a different way of solving this problem.
Yeah.
But for now, it's a relatively even game, and everybody's farming. So
I think NIP are just hoping they can go and have a crack at Roshan. Like the bear with can go through it pretty damn quickly. Now Gyrocopter putting the fresh Aghanim Scepter to work, Fada. Can't blink away quickly from this. There's your tether over from Io to give the extra life. Stampede Ramses is not wanting to give up on this. In fact, they just kill off the Io. Now the Global Silence is finally used. And PPD on the run back out. Can't run fast enough.
sorry, VP. I know I said you weren't doing stuff. There you go. Let's go. They got the Ags on the Gyro. This seems to be what they were waiting for. It makes Gyro so much stronger. And he's just able to go in and get these kills. Nice call down from Ramses, by the way. Clipped both heroes on the edge, both the Io and the Tiny.
Oh my god. That damage from the bear.
And he knows there's no Reaper, so he's not scared.
Yeah. It's just the fact that it takes, what was that, 6 hits to take the tower down 50%-ish?
Yeah. That's something Lone's pretty good at.
Mm-hmm.
Face boots on the bear. Coming up.
Yeah, everything's just simmering down for the moment.
So no one's going to go for the Death Pulse heal talent. Sometimes you'll see this Ghost Shroud talent as well, which I think has its merits in this game. It's really good against the Lone Druid Bear. It's nice against Tiny after he jumps in to combo somebody. If you catch him in that Ghost Shroud, it's a really strong slow. But he is valuing the full sustain route, maxing out the Death Pulse first like we saw earlier, maxing out or taking the Death Pulse talent now, really looking to just keep his team alive as long as possible.
33's just trying to burn down the wave. If you can wait just a little longer, he can get the last hits out, but instead it's all going to get denied up. But PPD, they find the better target. Centaur, still 2200 HP to get through. And they didn't have the extra control. Need the toss back to come into a Sinister Gaze, but it didn't happen.
Were they hoping to bait Stampede or something? I mean, that kill's actually impossible. If all their spells hit, he still doesn't die. It's a 2200 HP Centaur with Pipe.
Well, Necro's actually TP'd in behind them too. No one's just going to walk straight over towards the Io, hit him with a Death Pulse. Tethers over towards the bear. Now no one tossed up, Ghost Shroud, but the Lich ulti bounces around. They hold him and they kill him. Now the Stampede comes from Pasha, but he was trying to wait until no one was free. Now relocate, coming towards the front lines. Hoof stomp off, catching out onto. Global Silence is out, now NIP. What have you got as a return? There isn't really anything. The Spirit Bear was in so deep with the Io. Maybe it's almost time to back up, but they don't want to do it. Avalanche is out again, combining with the Omnislash into the back lines. Afro, they've all just tanked it. Bloody Ramses, he's just killed them off. Back to the tier 2 tower. Laguna Blade not enough to kill off Ace, as the tower will fall to Ace, but Lich, PPD will lose his life as well.
Oh, they got greedy, Toby. They got greedy. That was
They
so
did.
good for NIP until they start diving the tower. They got a free kill on Necro. That tower is theirs, but they feel like, man, we can get more. We can dive this. No Necro. Let's reload in. But they're relocating into some serious counterplay here. Call down, the Stomp from the Centaur, and this fight just... They are not happy even though they got the tower now, because they feel like this should have gone way better for them. And the whole thing that sets it off is that no one feels like he's invincible, and he isn't. He learned a lesson there. Maybe he didn't account for the Sinister Gaze, especially with PPD leveling it up over the Frostblast. It's 1-4-3 build. It was a long gaze onto no one there, and yeah, they could burst him down before he got saved by the Centaur Stampede. I don't think we'll be seeing him making that mistake again. Let's see what he itemizes. He is going the Radiance after Greaves, so will be Radiance once again for no one like he usually does on the Necrophos, just a little bit delayed.
Just bring in that team fight element that his team desperately needs. Got another rune available, which is going to try and save up for the Eye, which is regeneration.
The Radiance is also health against Lone Druid. All of his damage is based on attacks, so the mischance gives you EHP. It's not that good against Jugger though, and not that good against Tiny, but mainly for the damage aspect, it is still a good item this game.
How do you actually like even itemize against like the Tiny's burst damage?
You're by a hood.
Just
He has
by
one
hood, that's it?
bracer. You could, but they have a pipe on Centaur, right? So I don't think he wants to go too far down that route. Something like a Yule's is actually an interesting choice in this game. It could counter out the Omnislash. It can counter out the Root from the Bear. And you can Yule during Avalanche. So the Tiny has to Blink toss you and then Avalanche to get the combo. And yeah, the moment you land from the toss, you can still Yule off the remainder of the damage and then go Shroud. I wouldn't be feel bad about him going that item either, but it's less ambitious. And in this game, the way the tempo has gone so far, I think Radiance is the best choice just because, you know, it's kind of slow. Why not? Why not just farm up and get big?
Yeah, 14 kills in 23 minutes. It's pretty damn slow.
And you gotta wonder, like, how NIP gonna win this game, right? How are they gonna end it? They've taken this bottom tower. The next step, they have to get an Aegis, right?
Yeah.
Aegis on Jugger. And then they have to push high ground. They are not going to be able to find pickoffs that will lead them into a high ground push, most likely.
It feels like they just need to win a full-out team fight. Like,
yeah, that is hard, man. Into Necro and a Pipe Centaur?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's more pressure on Farder to get that initiation off. Like, if he's able to burst down the silencer, I think this game gets a lot more interesting for them. If they can remove global silence and Solo is caught without his buyback, then things get very interesting. But if they don't do that, then Necro just goes ham. And the gyrocopter, like Ramsey's having space to do damage, he's building into BKB next.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't talked that much about the gyro, but Ramses is obviously going to reach a stage when, with his BKB, he's kind of...
They get the jump. They found 33 over in the jungle. Light Striker Ray connects over on 2. Fire tries to create a little bit more space, tether over, and they have enough regeneration, especially underneath the shrine. The bear will be lost, but they really wanted to find that kill. Virtus Pro, but NIP deny them.
I think they could have globaled that and got the kill, but maybe they thought they wouldn't need it. But like you said, they still kill a bear, so it's still a victory. Killing a bear is good. It's like killing a support, basically, at this point.
But with the... that sound effect is so fun on the
A
IO.
little bit of split push. You'll see IOs do this regularly now compared to what they used to because of the lower cooldown on relocate, especially when you get level 2 and level 3. It's available a lot of the time. Old reload cooldown was much higher.
Well, looks like Virtus Pro making a maneuver up towards the top is just for the 25-minute bounding runes, but it'll still be an easy 2-2 trade-off. NIP just stacking up and trying to get that extra money into the Juggernaut. He's going to go straight in from Mjolnir after having that Mad Style. Just needs the Hyperstone.
He's got enough.
I think the recipe's coming on the courier. And PPD, that's aggressive. That's...
Enemy spotted.
Enemy down! No one TP's out. The tree lines up on the top. Peace finishes Radiance 25 minutes in. But I think PPD was most definitely on a ward mission.
There is one item this game for NIP that could do a lot, and that's a nullifier on Ace. I don't know if he can buy it next, but it is, of course, it's a counter to Ghost Shroud if you use it after the Shroud. It's a way of preventing the Gyro from getting off the inevitable BKB. If they get the jump, he can Omnislash and nullifier him in that Omnislash and maybe kill him off. Yeah, so I think that's an interesting item to consider on Jugger here. He's also one of the heroes that uses it best because of his building crit, so that the damage component of the nullifier is better for this hero than most. But he does seem to be going a basher route, which has its own merits too. Like bashing the Gyro and BKB is nice. It's maybe a way of getting on top of the Necro and surprising him with that little bit of extra. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, with the bonus attack speed, he's able to pick up, and like, the attack rate he's already going at.
Yeah.
Made us hope for a lockdown. NIP are making their way over through the bottom. And there's so many sentry wards committed to the Radiant jungle from them. They want to ensure there is no vision, while Virtus.pro, they're going to smoke up. The line's being drawn to move into the Dire jungle. They're going to see the IO in mid lanes. That may be the easiest pick-off for them, but wrapping around the back, 33's bare. Farda's waiting for his own moment, but the IO is already dead. A tree toss reveals they're on the other side of the river, but Ace is just pushing the bottom lane in as fast as he possibly can. Now they can turn around for their own fight. IO can buy back and relocate in. I think that's exactly what PPD thought was going to happen with the Spirit Bear.
This is awkward.
PPD is now also trapping himself in the tree lines. Hoof stomp down. Pasha starts over on the Juggernaut. Doesn't feel like there's a fight to be had. Starts with a spin out.
Reaper.
With the TP, but Reaper's Scythe cancels the TP in an Ace. Nothing more he can do apart from die.
That ward from Solo, just that little bit that it sees down here, just this little bit in the bottom, actually gave them vision of the Jugger so the Centaur could get the stomp off. There. This one little line straight down. Just saw just that little bit of vision, and they get the blink stomp on the Jugger, and that's what eventually allows them to catch up with the Necrophos. So, nice kill from VP, and they are stabilizing this game. Oh, that's a convenient rune to get on Necrophos. These illusions are so strong. Radiance and Heartstopper. Look at him farm the jungle with these boys. Let's go. Maybe you want to leave one there? Roger's like, dude, farm?
This is not efficiency.
That's really not efficiency. Especially not if you get them. Oh, oh dude. No, I just got them both killed. No one's been playing a pretty good game overall. That was not so good. And his death earlier was also not so good. But apart from that,
it's like it's PPD's turn to get caught out once again. Virtus.pro. Hoping for an initiation. I actually don't remember seeing a Chain Frost yet.
They used it to kill the Necro, but it didn't jump to anyone. But they needed the burst on Necro.
Oh yeah, so that one hit that they got from it.
Yeah.
PPD's trying to battle in the tree lines, but his own Observe ward down. They'll be quickly dewatered, and PPD will lose his life.
He's battling with life.
Another +2 and 16
and he won.
intel going the way of Silencer. Getting dumber by the minute. That'll be a tier 2 tower to go the way of Virtus.pro. As you're saying, with their side gun around, he's actually a really good tower hitter. And they're coming up. We're not even 30 minutes in. 33's waiting. The bottom tier 3 tower is being attacked. The top tier 2 tower is being pressured in, but Virtus.pro don't care if they can claim this tier 3.
There's no Lone Druid Bear bottom. If the Bear was bottom, they had to go back. But it's not threatening when it's on defense. Jugger pushes so much slower, and they take a good chunk out of that tower.
And Jugger takes so long to get there. Yep. He's spin TPing back right now.
Are they going to smoke here? Their hero constellation here kind of looks like they don't have a smoke. No. They just got all their heroes forced back, and now they have to weave out back into the map. That feels really bad. When you get all your heroes back into the base, you basically get reset. You lose control of where you're playing aggressively on the map, and you kind of give over initiative to the enemy team. And what this is going to give VP is going to give them time to stack. It's going to give them 2 bounty runes top, and they could even be Roshing right now.
Yep.
Fortunately, their lineup isn't very good at it. But if they had a Rosh lineup, that would have been a dead Rosh, what NIP just did.
It seems like both teams are very wary about going anywhere near Roshan. Because if they go in there and then that fight goes sour for them, like if it goes bad for Virtus.pro, then Lone Druid pushes you. Yep. Forces multiple buybacks, you're in a bad position for the game. And if NIP lose it, then Gyrocopter will push. So will Necro, so will Lina. They can clear out these ways very quickly. So NIP needs some level of strong initiation. But it's difficult. Up against Stampede, up against a Blink piping, stampeding Centaur. Gyrocopter's got his own BKB. No one's now got a completed Lotus Orb on himself.
Yep.
All these items start to add up.
Lotus is a good way of removing Entangle. There's some cool stuff to reflect too. Omnislash, Chain Frost. Omnislashing Necro is actually pretty scary. He has a Radiance and an Aura while he's Omnislashing your team. So, yeah. I like it. I think it's a good choice. And now he's going to go Heart. I think that is the perfect item in this game now. There's nothing better to buy. Just beef up. Be hard to kill. You have high armor. Heart gives you super good EHP. You don't really need that much magic resistance because you have the pipe in your team, and if spells stacking starts being a thing from NIP, you just Global Silence and stay alive.
And NIP really just want a target that isn't no one. Anything but him.
Yep.
Like, Fada's been in range so many times where he could just blink forward and get the toss back out. That's what VP's that's what they're counting on.
They're chilling. Ramses is farming. So.
Yep. Assault Cuirass done for Lone Druid.
See, a build here on Gyro that's not so common right now is to go with the Manta style after the BKB Maelstrom and Ags, but he is buying it because of two reasons. First of all, it's good against the Entangle. And secondly, this gives him a way of dealing with Jugger. When Jugger Omnislashes him, he can Manta and spread the Manta out, and then he has a very good chance of completely countering that spell, and that's huge. In this matchup, there's nothing that really kills Gyro except the Omnislash. That's what he really needs to worry about, and this is a great way of solving it. It also makes the Nullifier even better. I think at this point it is actually a required tool to win the game. That's where we're at now for NIP. He needs this item. And looks like he's finishing Butter first.
Your next items which are going to arrive are actually the Aghanim Scepters. Like, the Aya's almost completed his, and Lena's almost completed hers.
Yep. Io Axe is good here. Lena Axe, pretty good too. You can use it in a Jugger spin. So
Centaur. Woo! Pasha. Right in front of PPD. Not quite certain what he was looking to bait out. But these lanes are pushing in far enough that maybe now NIP feel like they can get away with Roshan, but and Virtus Pro is hot in their tail. Well, NIP are going all the way back. Enough posturing around. The funny thing is, every single time they move forward or they move slightly back on bottom lane, they always got scouted out by this Observer Ward in the bottom river. It just saw so much movement. And now there's a fresh one from Virtus Pro protecting their closer area of the bottom jungle. So if NIP aren't pushing this, they know it's the northern fight, it's Roshan. One of the two.
Yep. And they can't kill no one. They're going to jump him with Tiny and they're going to global. And then he will stay alive.
And no one's the only one who's been presenting
yeah,
himself.
it's this kind of awkward. I don't even want to call it a game of cat and mouse because the mouse is there. But you can't kill it. It's a mouse with armor.
Okay, no one's been trying to bait himself in mid lane for so damn long that if he just starts doing solo Roshan, maybe this is the biggest bait. Hey guys, like, are you finally gonna do something about me? Pasha comes in, Ramses comes in, and NIP have a choice.
It's a clear line of limitation, right, that we're seeing from NIP in this game. There's something missing. If they can't execute their push, they get into this awkward spot where there's nothing. I personally feel like playing Dota like this is so hard. Like when there's when you feel like there's nothing happening and the move doesn't present itself. It's just not there. They kind of have to keep playing for this farm. They have to keep hitting some sort of key item that they can fight with. The Ags on Io is a really big DPS boost, for sure. It's great against Necrophos, too. But it's VP totally dictating the tempo of the game. If NIP can't push out lanes and go and hit towers, their lineup can't force anything. And that is tricky right now for them to work on.
It's like we're farming for what purpose?
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. I mean, it's another thing if they had, superior late game. You're just like, man, we got to fight NIP right now. But I don't think VP feels threatened. I think they're okay. We have a Lena scaling into late game as a support. We have a Centaur who's getting super big. Our Necrophos is extreme scaling.
No one. This is the first time he's been far enough away from the rest of his team. You've got the Chain Frost. He's going to bounce back over towards no one. He's so low on life, but that's why he just Ghost Shrouds and wands back up again. Solo has gone down thanks to the Omnislashing Juggernaut, but the lockdown control directly after ensures his ace's death. So a 1-for-1 trade-off, but it's support for core.
Yep. The moment they went to no one, they just global silence. He stays alive,
and look at VP go mid.
Bad trade.
Like, they still have Aegis the Immortal. You want to force at least the buyback out in the Juggernaut, but you'll take the tier 3 tower too.
Yeah, and what NIP will hope to do here is to push out bottom to the tier 3 tower, but they're too far away. So it's a defense call here, and they can't hold this base without their Jugger. There's not enough in the tank. The healing from no one is too strong. Like these IO spirits.
Toss. They found Pasha a little bit too deep, and that's not the one they really want. Here comes your Reaper side down. Vada barely able to survive through all of this, but the call down will put him down. 33 spare, still trying to do his work, looking for an entangle, looking for something. He'll get Light Striker raid. Lacuna Blade's already back up from Roger.
Because Bear's healing
Santa
so
is just
much.
doing so much work because you've just got the Io giving all the life it possibly can.
Okay, if you tether a Bear and you have healing ward, that's a lot of health. It was healing a couple of hundred per second, actually.
I like how we're now at the point where you also relocate the Bear in order to get a little bit of extra push from the Radiance.
I mean, I was going to say it's a small victory for NIP, but they actually got nothing. They didn't get a kill. They lost their tower. The only victory is that they didn't lose barracks, but
yeah, but
they didn't.
You still had the buyback on Ace.
Yeah, and they didn't get rid of the Aegis. There's still 2 minutes and a bit left on this Aegis, so I think VP are just going to make their next move and be like, okay, I mean, now there's no buyback on the Jugger. They could wait out the Reaper's Scythe and go again.
The Reaper's Scythe still got another about a minute, but NIP are on the hunt. Coming in towards the jungle, Ramses will be the one who will walk into him. PPD puts down the observe board. Ace already into the spin very early on. 33 will catch no one in the back lines, but he just shrouds up. And now Pasha initiating over on the side. And maybe now Juggernaut, yep, he's in trouble. It's going to be 33 to die inside the river. Roger's last attack will do the work at Aphro. And Ramses keeps the pressure over on NIP, forcing them further and further back. But Virtus Pro, they're surrounding in from the east too. Where is the retreat? They're pushed back into Helm's Deep, so NIP, they just TP out Ramses. Can't find the kill in time.
Ramses basically zoned like 2 or 3 heroes there with his Aegis. He ran at the Jugger with, he put a homing missile on him, and the spin expired before the missile connected, and then he tried to Manta dodge it, but mistimed that. So he kept the Jugger out of that fight the whole time, and that gives them a nice and easy kill on the Lone Druid. It gives them a Shrine. Gives them good aggressive potential here. Probably the top tier 2 tower will fall here too. It seems pretty inevitable. Pasha stacking up some retaliate. Thank you very much, Mr. Tower. Very helpful. It's using the opportunity to dig up some battle points. Bang the drum.
Sure. You don't need to attack buildings at all. Ace is still going to have to keep that pressure on bottom lane. Always get Virtus Pro to look behind themselves.
It's the one avenue of attack they have, is this bottom lane. It's the only place on the map that NIP poses a threat. So they have to keep playing on it to buy themselves time and items. But Jugger still has way of a way to go here.
Yeah.
Butterfly is about to be complete, and then I think it has to be that nullifier, but it still doesn't feel good to buy it because you're like super low health with this build. You can get the health talent on 25 and go Nully. I think that's the best.
It still also doesn't feel like he's got a way to really reposition. He needs like Blink Dagger and the Nullifier to make it work. It's like, who do you jump on? And Butterflies arrive at the same time. The second one's for the Gyrocopter.
There are plays. You could Blink Toss into the Jugger, for example, and then he can nullify while the hero's in the air. He can maybe catch them by surprise by coming out of the tree line or out of smoke. You know, there are plays.
They need the second the Aegis, the Immortal is going to break, but it's 5-on-5. Pasha moves over. The smoke breaks on Fada. BKB timings for the 40-minute bounty runes. Ramses and Roger. Here's your Avalanche. Toss hit in from behind, combining with the Chain Frost, but they're also split up. The Chain Frost won't bounce with the Global Silence. Omnislash kicks in, but Ramses just using the Mana Stone to tank through so much with the spin too, but Ramses, he doesn't care. Vada will end up going down. Io is brought back, relocates in. He needs to get the extra life over towards the Juggernaut. It will be enough to help him survive the Reaper's Scythe and get 2 more hits out, but he'll still end up going down. Vada, what else have you got? Enough to kill off no one. That'll do the job. The relocate out will end up helping the Io to survive, but the buybacks are coming thick and fast. NIP, their sustain is just way too good. Say goodbye to Fada. 3 heroes down without buybacks available. They'll push through the bottom towers, and Virtus Pro, they look unstoppable.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I actually don't know how they stop this. They have 2 supports alive. Sure, Io has got a lot of damage, but the sustain of VP is still there. You don't have the Necro, but you have Urn, you have Pipe, you have the Crimson coming on off cooldown again, and Lina poses a serious kill threat with the Centaur. They could just jump and blow up any of these supports right now, and it's minimum 2 lanes of racks. It could be 3, or they could flat out end the game. If they knew there's no buybacks, they could go straight for GG here, but...
Be safe about it all.
Taking the racks on the way.
This Virtus Pro just making sure that everything is above board. Like the Io is relocating out to try and get some level of counter push.
GG.
It is. It's GG. Virtus Pro, solid performance. NIP, like as you said, man, it feels odd in the draft. Like just how they were meant to play it out, there were definitely some great elements. A little bit of maybe unluckiness without the entangles on no one that probably would have changed the balance of like his progression through the game.
Lone could have got a kill mid. I think that's fair to say. And I think he deserved to get it, and no one deserved to die. Basically that situation in a nutshell.
But not leveling Ghost Shroud like it deserved to happen.
Sometimes it happens. And in all honesty, when you saw the game play out, I don't think that kill would have swung the whole game.
No.
It would have had an impact for sure, but yeah, NIP, there were some limitations here. I also think VP played a very good game. Solid execution, good game understanding too. The fact that they kept their composure, they played slow, they waited for the right timing when Necro has the Greaves, when they have the pipe, and then they start doing stuff when Gyro hits the Aghanims timing. Just, very, very good and methodical game from them, which, historically, VP methodical didn't really go too much hand in hand.
Yeah, but they definitely showed
it.
it. It's always been that question, like, can they show it during TI? And so far in game 1, they've showed it. They showed patience as well.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
they didn't show that it was like, oh, we're just going to play passive. Like as you said, like they understand the game, they understand the timing. They know
they play aggressive when they can.
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't worry. They'll still do that. No problem.
If the draft will allow it, then absolutely certain. But they knew how to win against NIP in game 1. We'll see if they can do the same thing in game 2 after the break. welcome back. That's right, we're the TI with no delays. So here in Shanghai, doing this NIP versus Pro. I don't know why Shanghai makes any kind of difference. But yeah, VP, up game 1. Solid game 1. Very, very good. NIP. Some solo play from some individuals, but overall still looking for that team sync to hit.
Yeah, I think the strategy overall in that game did not go the way they were hoping for, and we're probably going to see some adjustments in this game, but we'll see. So the coin flip this time around was, well, the NIP won the coin flip in game 1 and chose first pick, and VP took Radiant, and now in the second game, VP chose second pick. That was their pick priority choice.
It was.
Pretty interesting. And NIP then chose Radiant. So we're going to see a swap of the sides, but same picking order.
We change up the heroes slightly, so that we'll have the ban from NIP on the Ire. Now Magnus is really just hitting that heavy ban pull every single time. No one wants this in the game.
Has it been banned in every... It didn't get banned in the Liquid series.
It's banned, yeah, it was, I think it was banned in the first phase of the Liquid series.
Was it?
But I'm not going to say my brain is 100%. And it may just be us at the moment who's getting the Magnus bans out. Yeah, in fact, it's just really us who's getting the Magnus bans. There's only been 2 Magnus bans so far. So obviously, yeah, it can't be in the Liquid series as well.
Yeah.
But this would be now the third.
So you were just guessing.
This would be the 3rd Magnus ban.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain we had one of the Magnus bans in the first series.
have
Hello, Kunkka.
So Mirana first pick into AA Kunkka. Kunkka good hero against Mirana. Catches her, she can't leap away. She can't Moonlight Shadow away because it's very easy to set up detection with all the time you have with X Mark. This hero also got first picked by Secret in a game against Alliance earlier today. First pick Kunkka overall came out from Secret, which could be an interesting indication that this hero may be a flex pick and may have a lot to offer right now. So Oracle will be the response. Great support against Kunkka. Also good support against AA. Can block that magic damage. Can outlast the Ice Blast with ulti. And heal people up. So I like this Oracle. It also sets up for Arrow pretty nicely with the Fortunes. And there's a lot of good synergy and good counter here from NIP. So I'm already a bit more on board with what they're trying to do this game than the last one.
Yeah, it actually feels like we could have a more action-packed style game. It's not just a, we'll just sit back and continuously farm up kind of thing. Obviously the Oracle... Okay, maybe it will be a sit back and farm up kind of thing. Is it just me, or did those like band noises get even louder?
I think they got louder.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just loud for us. I don't know. With this production setup here, it's just funny, man. Like a little toddler is not getting an ice cream. See ya, Alchemist. You're not going to be playing this game. Well, yeah, it's NIP going to be banning it, right? Because they don't want to pick it into AA. Seems like that could be part of the reason VP first picked this AA is to protect themselves against the 10-pick Alchemist from NIP. Could be part of the reason at least.
It also gives them some nice laning options.
Yeah, AA has good plays. It's even a flex pick for VP because they play at mid on no one. So that could happen. I think he will be playing the Kunkka most likely, but there's always the possibility of an offlane Kunkka for Pasha, or even a position 4 Kunkka for Roger, which not sure about the last one. I'm more a fan of the core hero, but it's playable in the right game.
Interesting to see they also ban out the Slark.
Yeah.
Normally fantastic against heroes who like to play from a long range, but also good at sniping out those backline.
Kunkka is generally a pretty good hero against Slark, because you can't purge off X Mark, you can get caught by all the AoE damage from Torrent, Ghost Ship, and Ice Blast. But maybe I think they have a plan for cores here that they are approaching. And maybe also because Slark's just good with Oracle, right? Like having that save, amplifying the heal, keeping him alive could be the reason here.
Yeah.
I'm more on the... It's like a little bit of everything, but I think it's primarily the core factor, that they want a core that they're already seeing, that they have their eyes set on, that Slark would be good against. We'll see, though.
Yeah. They could also be going down the avenue of, like, maybe this isn't the mid Kunkka that we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
No reason why it can't be a 5-4.
If it's offlane Kunkka, then yeah, you don't want to play against
3.
Slark. That's true.
Well, they banned the Gyrocopter, so feeling that they'll just take that one away from Ramses, even without the IO. That Gyrocopter was very...
Yeah, it's good.
Like, yeah, it hit hard.
And it's a flex pick for VP, as we talked about before. Another reason to ban
everything's
Slark.
a flex pick for VP.
A lot of heroes are.
This is the team that played what every single hero.
Yep, at
in
the
the
summit.
past.
I played so many heroes at one tournament.
5 seconds.
I think this could also be a Centaur pick that they're setting up for with this Slark ban. The last game when they had the Centaur, they banned the Slark. So perhaps this is something they're thinking about going. Centaur is pretty good here. Stampede to run down the Mirana. It's a hero that can jump the backline, catch Oracle off guard. Oracle can't really take advantage of attacking him in lane because you're just going to give him retaliate stacks. But on the other hand, Oracle level 3 has a lot of magic burst, and that's one of the ways to kill Centaur in lane. So there's like pros and cons here to that hero. VP are taking some time here. Maybe they did want the gyro. That's why they banned Slurk.
Yeah, it is a hell of a lot of time. Like this is their extra time as well, just on their fifth ban.
Yep.
Normally time it like they got last pick. Maybe it's not so bad. They ban the Rubik and we get ourselves an Enigma. Pick up from Virtus Pro. I was wondering how much of this hero would actually see this tournament.
Yeah.
And maybe this is when you're like, oh man, I really wish we didn't have an Oracle so we could just like grab that silencer and play against him, because that's what wrecks the Enigma so hard.
The classic counters to Black Hole are Venge and Silencer. And Venge Oracle is a bit... There's just nothing... There's not much team fight there, right? It's like single target, which isn't necessarily a problem, but if you combine it with a Mirana, your options start getting really limited for how you start and take good fights.
Yeah.
When you look at VP's lineup, there's just big amounts of AoE smackdown.
That's why the Rubik ban makes even more sense. Like, it's a nice combination to work with Mirana, but it's that semi-counter to the Enigma.
Yep.
It's not a perfect counter because you have to steal Black Hole, then you can return it, and then you need to make a better use of it. So on that front, it's not so great, but it would have fit that full role of NIP nicely.
I think Rubik would have been nice this game. Yeah. So it's also, there's some good steals against Kunkka. Stealing Ghost Ship is actually huge impact in fights, and it's a lot of the times it's easy to steal because it's very telegraphed when Kunkka uses it, right? He's going to X-Mark, then he's going to Boat, and then Torrent. And his animation for casting the Ghost Ship is very clear, and his animations all take a bit of time, so if you're a good player, you're going to get it in time.
Oh, immortality. At least it comes when the times are right. Pick up for the Wraith King of NIP. Heavy damage output, nice push power that can come along with him.
I think they're primarily picking it just because it's a guy who can survive AoE garbage. Like, they're going to drop all of their ults, and I'm going to respawn, and they don't have them the second time.
There's so many ultis as well. The only thing this team fight is missing is something like a Darkseer just to drag everyone into that one position. But the role of 3 has most definitely been taken, and we're just looking to see now what Ramsey's hero will be.
Yep. Yeah, Wraith King had its strengths against Kunkka and Enigma, because, logic with Reincarnation. Like you said, the tower push of the skeletons is nice. The problem is into Tide, that Tide with high-level Kraken Shell ignores your skeletons. It's one of the few heroes in the game that actually doesn't care about your skeleton army, and he kills them with Anchor Smash too. So it's a classic counter pick that's also good against you in lane, and therefore NIP kind of have to adapt and try to find a solution. They're going to take the OD. Massive pure damage against Tide, can steal a lot of int and then blow them up. Has a save against the Ravage if he's in a good position. Pretty good against... I think the Kunkka lane is pretty good for OD. I want to say it's OD favored if he plays really well, but it might just be even, actually. So not completely sold on that, but it's also a nice setup into Arrow. Astral Arrow, classic way of winning mid lane.
Actually banned the Timbersaw. I suppose it's that other front liner that they would have a potential problem with.
It's somebody who could beat Tide in lane, perhaps, and Kunkka. So they're probably just looking for what hero can they pick that can solve 2 lanes at once so that we can't just swap lanes and win.
Yeah. See the return of the axe. And
Axe for an IP is no, it's not great.
No,
it's not great.
Yeah, I suggested and I instantly wanted to pull back out. The Broodmother is the ban from NIP, and they're gonna doom. So some extra level of counter to one of these big AoEs, so they don't have to deal with both of them at the same time.
Really good hero against Tide. If you doom him, that's one thing he can't Kraken off. And then if you get the doom on Tide, you have this whole fight without a Ravage. Dooming Kunkka can also be super good before he gets ship off. And Doom's laning here, see, that's the tricky part, is that they kind of have to
5 seconds remaining.
get Doom against Tide, because they don't want Wraith King against Tide, and Doom against Tide I think is also good for Tide in lane. It gets harder later on with the Doom, level 6, but the early laning stage I think Tide is happy. So what you can do as VP now is you can counterpick this Wraith King lane with your carry, and maybe just play like some kind of aggro dual lane with carry plus AA and have the Enigma just eat creeps and go jungle. And if you, on top of that, then get the Tide to play against... Okay, Sniper mid. Side lane Kunkka. It's Ramsey's carry Kunkka.
It
Okay,
is.
that's another way of doing it, I guess.
You know, I was leaning towards this just because the Slark ban, where I'm like, you know what, this is a classic. Like, it's the closing distance heroes that they hate it. Sniper, no one. He loves playing this hero, especially when they can create a lot of space for him. And IP don't have a great way of getting in the back lines unless it's Moonlight Shadow positioning, or it's actually like Saxa jumping in to the back line, hit a good arrow. Like, that's the only way they can really close the distance.
It's a great sniper game.
Yeah. Good in the lane against OD.
So what they basically decided was they looked at the pros and cons and they were like, even if Kunkka's side lane doesn't go perfect compared to another carry, we think Sniper is the hero that's going to win the game. And this is one of those things that VP as a team can, when they're really drafting their best, they have such an incredible amount of heroes to draw from because, like we talked about, there's so many heroes that are flex picks for VP, and they don't have a problem. They don't have a designated player that needs to be the game winner. Both No One and Ramses are equally good at carrying and winning games, and that just means, well, if it's time, you know, we'll just pick Sniper for No One, and Ramses will play more of a playmaking role. This guy has a lot of experience. I think part of the reason he's really, really successful in his role is his past experience with playing offlane, because he has a very good understanding of how offlaners want to play against carries. And then if he's playing a carry that plays tempo, he still has that, like, he's not the classic, like, super greedy carry player. I'm just going to hit creeps. Like, he plays a variety of styles, and that is, you know, a huge advantage when you can tap into that and get drafts like this. So I really like what they did with the sniper pick. It's cool. So for NIP, in a way, it's kind of similar to last game, where you want to group up and play around this Wraith King. You want to play around Doom's timing. You want to make Oracle useful. Oracle as a hero generally wants to play 5-man at the mid game, so he has somebody to save that he can be useful with, right? He's not a great skirmisher after heroes get tanky enough to survive your spells. He can't push lanes very well. He can't take objectives. He can't kill Roche. You know, the hero has clear weaknesses. And yeah, I think in this game you play Wraith King's timing mainly. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how Ace gets into the laning phase for it all. It looks like for the moment, it's a big smoke up from NIP heading towards the north. Roger almost obliges by running in. He actually sentry warded up the pull point.
NIP saw that.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, like, is this the reason why you start seeing sentries being used, especially over, like, the Yobs? It's like, well, okay, you can deward that, but you're not going to get your money for it.
Yep, for sure.
And they put down an interesting defensive observer ward right next to their own camp near mid. But it watches the river movements.
It sees the river, it sees the rune, and it sees if people are swapping lanes. Because VP are aiming to get the specific matchup of, I think, Tide against Wraith King. And now that they see Wraith King on this ward and he starts moving up toward the left, look at the movement of Pasha. He's kind of starting to cross up top. And I think at this point he wants to commit for it because he hasn't seen Wraith King rotate back through that ward. And he is indeed making the long walk of the turtle.
So it gives Ramses the off lane. He's already grabbing both the bounty runes on bottom.
This is the exact matchup they are aiming for. And NIP are not going to realize this until now. Now they know.
Yeah.
And TPD is going to do his best to try to zone off this Tide. Pasha does not want to TP top. He has to run, because if he TPs, NIP can just swap lanes.
Well, Ace is already heading down to the bottom lane now. So
And Ace is heading bot. Yeah, okay, so... I mean, if they've already... but then if he TPs top, he can't TP bottom, right? That's like... The dynamic is like this. And yeah, okay. Let's see. So they will TP the Oracle. So that's a commitment here. And VP know this, because he has no TP in his inventory. That VP did TP down here. And they also knew he was top before, because of Tide.
Oh, there goes the Miranda too.
Second TP.
Okay, they want the first blood.
Yeah, they're probably going to look towards Solo. He's the easier target. So starting off with your fortunes. Arrow. Oh, the creep was just in the way. So they won't get both of their stuns, but it looks like Solo has no real way to escape from this one. That TP, that's going to cost him too. Optimism is one side of the coin, but now he can't TP back to the lane.
I don't want to say that's optimism. That's just naive, man. Like,
Naive has been your word of the day. Like, it's popped up a couple of times.
I think I've said it twice.
Yeah. Just, well,
Word of the day. Said it twice. Uh-oh.
It resonates.
Uh-oh.
Ramses
He's actually just
on
going
the
to run.
run
He's
out.
dead.
PPD consumes the mango. He's got Fortune's End available. And well, Mirana's ready to go, and Ramses. Okay, you can taunt your way as far as you can, but it's not going to survive.
Great start for NIP. These 2 kills and shutting down Ramses in the offlane, killing the TPing AA. That's a very big loss. What happened here? And they have to swap lanes. Ramses is actually going to go top. They're like, Pasha, you're going to TP bot to this Wraith King who hasn't TP'd yet. So if he TP's bottom, Wraith King can TP back top. And he's actually going to start walking.
Ace is already TP'd.
Oh, that's a bit too early. He started walking across the entire map, not TPing. So when Ace is showing now, they have the possibility of swapping with Kunkka walking across. But then Kunkka shuts his own game down too.
And now Pasha TP'd to the bottom lane.
Yeah. Okay. Because of Kunkka's TP top, Ace feels like I can TP. Because even if Tide walks back up here, the Kunkka can't TP bot. So that's the trade-off. Okay. Fair enough.
Sure. So Roger can go to the jungle. So Virtus Pro still try and get a little bit more out of their lanes. They still haven't been able to pull this camp up on top and change the equilibrium. It's PPD and Wraith King. Maybe they get an opportunity against Ramses. But 33 is having the best time ever. Like, 2 points up in Devour. He's always going to be ahead in the money. He's ahead in the CS. Doesn't even feel like having Pasha on this bottom lane is going to make that big a difference for him.
No, I think at this point, Doom's laning is already pretty set. And he will just get more gold.
Yeah,
that's
just the way the hero works.
Yep.
Well, this time they're going to get the chain stuns. Oh, Solo, he knew it was coming in. He took the arrow for Ramses. But they have more than enough stuns themselves, NIP, to keep him going and get the kill on Solo too.
It's still a good play though.
Yeah, it's the one he had to do. He needs to keep his core alive.
Yep.
This time there will be a TP back. Arrow flies in again. Solo
uh-oh.
taking it for the president. And yet another hit. My God, Mirana. It just keeps coming thick and fast. Solo goes down once more, and Ramses'
game is real bad right now. That's his second.
The third death.
It's his third death, but it's his second time having to walk from base because of TP cooldown. And they know this, so.
Yep. Keep the pressure up. Another arrow flies forward. The Wraithfire Blast is already available. So it's just never-ending chain stuns on these Virtus Pro players. The Torrent will create a little bit of space, but Ramses has nowhere to run, and he knows it too. PPD just throws the nuke at the end. 5 kills in 4 minutes in favor of NIP. And PPD will deny himself to the Die Tower.
Yeah, he spent all his gold on items, gets a free refill. This is a great start from NIP this game. Looking very promising. The one downside is Fata's getting destroyed in mid. It's an unfavorable matchup for the OD, and no one is an exceptional laner. So that's how it goes. If it wasn't for this big mid matchup win for VP, they would be losing 3 lanes right now. Overall. They also have an Enigma in the jungle, let's not forget. So you're kind of expected to lose your lanes by a little bit.
And Enigma is the one who's sitting in the 4th highest net worth at the moment. Oh, pulling back TPD.
His turn to pull the solo. Now he doesn't have a TP. Now he has to walk. Interesting game.
Let's not say that's pulling the solo. I'm not going to make him a descriptive word.
Interesting situation in this game. Overall.
As we got nighttime fades, the lane rotations have at least simmered. Like it was moving a hell of a lot in the first 2 minutes. Tidenda's doing pretty damn good on bottom lane. Like it's 2 point almost 5k net worth for the Doombringer to the 2.3k of the Tidehunter. PPD's making his move in towards mid. He actually just
top
wants to get
lane.
Observer Ward and Sentries down. Ramses.
I stood again.
He's got skeletons all over him. Solo's doing the best he possibly can to buy Ramsey some space as Ramsey makes a break for the tree line. Leap forward. Saska, I can't see him. But arrow dodges from Ramses, but he can't do anything more. The minions were following him to the ends of the earth. And it didn't matter if Saska was going to miss that arrow or not.
So what have we got happening in mid? So no one is going for Midas. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, they're going again. It ain't over. Courier's bringing in everything it can, has to fortify itself up. Here's your first Hellfire Blast over on Ramses. PBD follows up with Fortune's End, and Kunkka just nowhere near enough life to try and survive, but they might get the kill on the Wraith King with a rotation in. You're actually able to connect.
Yeah, that's some damage on the mid tower though. No one TP'd out from mid, so Fata is pushing as fast as he can to put some pressure here. No siege creep though, so not the end of the world. No one is going to start waddling back to mid on the sniper. Just going for the Midas, obviously an insane item on sniper because of the cooldown reduction talent. He gets at level 10. 25% lower cooldown on Midas is pretty crazy, and will keep him ahead of the curve of the game.
Love the tip that comes in from Roger. It's like, thank you for taking 2 of my creeps, but it won't matter at the end of the day. Still a lot of space for Enigma to keep farming up. He's already hit level 6. PPD, he's trying to keep his head above water. He was level 2 until like, well, 10, 20 seconds ago.
Yep.
Not a happy day.
He's still having a better game than Solo. They're both struggling a bit here, but PPD's game is better for sure. He has more gold. He got a couple kills, so.
Oh, trouble maybe for the Mirana. X marks the spot. It's only level 1, so very low range.
He could have maybe tried for that with a torrent, and then if it hits, he could have X'd. But yeah, mainly just protecting their own jungle so Sniper can keep farming. There's some serious efficiency plays with Sniper where you stack camps and then shrapnel, and then you retreat to your mid tower whenever you need to defend it, which is what's happening right now. Has to walk over there. He actually ends up shrapneling the wave, so he can stay in his own jungle. Okay, it's gotta come back and peep this one. It got peeped. It's interesting how, in a way, it feels like this game is following a similar tempo to the last game, even though it has a lot more kills. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's like this... There's been all of these kills, but the macro game is kind of similar. It's like this lull now where both teams are farming. There isn't that much threat on the map. Maybe you'll get another kill on this Kunkka, but you're not doing tower damage. And VP are just playing the greedier lineup, right? They have Enigma and Tide and Sniper.
But because there's no pressure being applied to them, but like,
they're not losing towers.
yeah, like,
so
but how do you apply pressure towards this? Like when you've got Ravage and there's Black Hole, it's a very scary team fight, and it's not like you've got enough sustain to play against that.
Ideally, you don't want a team fight right now. You want to try to skirmish and use Mortal Strike to get towers. And maybe there's a play here now, top, if Wraith King gets in here and uses the skeletons and they get a kill on Kunkka that could give them a tower. We're going to zone off
There's your
Solo.
first hit.
Arrow.
That's the 5 seconds done. Solo will most definitely die here. Even
yeah.
with the nukes,
Now he will.
Starfall down, yeah, they have enough damage. Kunkka leaves him stranded. Before level 6 is up for Ramses. Like, we're talking about the level 6 is there for Tidehunter for Enigma, but it's not there for the Kunkka yet. It's not there for the Ancient Apparition.
Ramses is offlaner this game.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It does feel like that. Now, Doom
Doom.
goes to work. Man, that range is just in through the tree lines, and that's how you get rid of one of those big ultimates. And NIP keeps the pressure up, dropping the hammer. A little bit more damage is required to kill the Tidehunter, and the Banishment should do that work. And up towards top. Arrow flew forward, looking to just try and contest the bounty runes, but it still ended up being a 3-for-1.
That was an excellent sequence from an IP. They could not have done any more than that. They got the tower, they got 2 kills top, they got 3 bounty runes, and a core kill bottom with Doom. That was excellent. That was like a 2K move in terms of gold, not MMR. What they did there. So very nice. And that's how you do it, right? They split it up. There was no team fight. There were 2 kills top, there was a kill bottom. No big ultimates were used by the Dire team because they didn't get the opportunity to. And this is what you want to do. Let's see, next time he has Mortal Strike Skeletons, what the next move is from an IP here. Ace is starting to rack them up.
You definitely got to look towards either the tier 1 tower in mid, which is difficult to push into, or take out that bottom tower. Like, there's only so long Ace can stay up here.
I kind of like the mid move next time they have Doom. And the way they do it is not by 5-manning this mid tower, but I think they go for mid tower while he dooms the Tide. That could be a play.
If you're going to do that, then you need a position to get in behind. You need the wraparound.
Well, it depends. If Tide is bottom, if he comes back bottom, he can just doom him and start running at him. And if somebody TPs to help, they lose the mid tower. You kind of need to divide and conquer in this game instead of tunneling on one area.
Oh, they're coming over now. We'll see how well these chain stuns work once again. Pasha is the target in the lane.
They actually can't kill him. They have to go for someone else.
They're underneath the obs, but that's why sentries. Arrow flies forward, no one.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
It will not connect. But because they've backed up so much, like now you see NIP, even without the heavy push in towards mid, they're beating into the tier 1 tower. Fortification was delaying the pressure.
Yeah, they're not getting it though. Shrapnel's gonna take care of business. They don't have that split pressure going on, so VP can allocate enough resources to hold the tower. You need to have pressure on a secondary lane so that they have to choose where they defend. And they didn't get that just then. They still got some good damage in. It wasn't all that bad. But yeah, if they find the sniper kill there, that's sniper and the tower.
Yeah.
That would have been really good. But a good read from no one to get away in time, and as we talked about, they couldn't go on the Tidehunter because yes, they have stuns, but Doom wasn't there. So he's just gonna get chain stunned. He's gonna tank all the skeletons with Kraken, and he's gonna live.
And it just feels like there's just no great opportunity for anyone. There's no easy pick off. There's no like straight setup. Instead, it's just farming up until you get the damage output where you then feel like you've got something to work with. But maybe NIP still feels something else. Smoke up, Fada and PPD. Heading towards the bottom lane. Poor Ramsey's had a pretty of a hard day. He is 3rd bottom net worth. As the normally 1 position for Virtus Pro.
Yep.
Fada.
He's dead.
Starts with the banishment.
Arrow.
Yep. Flies in. Perfect timing. And Ramsey's will drop.
Now can they get the tower here? If Sniper rotates over, I think he can defend with shrapnels. Or he's starting to push in mid, so it looks like VP have no interest in trying to defend the bottom tower. And instead they're going to push 2 lanes of their own. They're going to push top and mid.
Fada's trying to make the most out of this stolen int. Up towards Pasha, he's got Veil available, but...
Available? You said it.
I did.
You didn't even notice it?
I did not.
Wow.
I really didn't, man.
You really need your drink.
Beverage! Beverage break! No one? I guess OD coming back towards the mid to do something with this, but again, there's no jump, there's nothing to be done here. So it feels kind of funny, like you've got this nice stolen int, but like, what do you do with it? Like, Wraith King is going for a Radiance build, there's no Blink Dagger build up. Instead, it's kind of on the back of the Fortune's end of PPD, but he does have False Promise now.
Yep.
So pushing these engagements, having False Promise, having Reincarnation that can be leveled up. Ace is holding the point.
Still holding the point on level 10.
Actually, yeah,
you don't
he's
see that often. He
Yeah.
has 2 skill points. He
Yeah,
can
it-
skill,
yeah, it's
he can
2.
skill a talent now.
There we go. He
There we
just
go.
put the 20 attacks.
He just did the math. He's like 3 plus
Plus
1 is 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay, I have 2 left. Yeah. Sorry, he's smarter than that. That's how Kezu counts. Okay, so let's see. Bottom lane, Moonlight Shadow is coming out. They're going to be heading up top, and looks like there's going to be no runes here for VP to contest at all, so it will be a 2-for-2 split unless Ace can do some magic. Actually, he's just going to get it.
He's
Okay.
Moonlight Shadow.
See ya, nerds.
He feels fine.
Well, that's nice. 3 for 1.
No.
And I mean, yeah, sure, you didn't use the end of OD, but the tempo of the game is fine for NIP right now. They're actually progressing very nicely in their item builds. Doom is getting super farmed, OD's happy, Wraith King is happy.
Oh, they're going in on bottom.
Ace is going to skill ult
Shrapnel
here,
is
he will be
down.
fine.
Ace will be able to survive. He's going to get the Mortal Strike out.
Oh, maybe not.
And Pasha's back in again. Torrent, Boat. What else have you got? Assassination. Ramses finds the kill with a ship.
Oh, the Ice Blast saw OD. He has no mobility item.
Oh boy. What do you do here, PPD? Defensive imprisonment. Is there any help that can TP into this?
That's going to be a no.
Well, instead, it's just let OD die, and Ramses gets himself a double kill. They'll take the tier 1 tower.
They just didn't. Did they just not have TPs? I think that was defendable.
Mirana had TP, Doom has TP.
I think Doom didn't at the time. I think that's why they couldn't defend, because they need the Doom to come in there when he's dying the first time.
And now it's Mirana who's in trouble. The Maleficent's making it impossible to jump away. Ramses, it doesn't say triple kill, but it may as well. That's a triple kill.
He's back in the game. He just got 1,000 gold.
It's doubling the entirety of the kills of Virtus Pro in the span of 1 minute.
And that is so good news for him to get all this. Oh, this is Sentry Ward mid. He's not going to get doomed here. Yeah, that's huge. His game was so terrible, and now he's starting to catch up in a big way. Same net worth as the Tide now. And only 800 behind OD, who has had a much better game than him.
It's the fact that 2 of the kills as well were cores.
Yeah.
Like,
he got so much.
Yeah.
And the last guy was a guy with a 4-kill streak. You can't really ask for more.
And they didn't use Ravage. They didn't use Black Hole.
No. And that's what I mean. Like, when the Wraith King dies bottom the first time, you have to make a choice. Either you defend and you TP your lineup in, or it's like, okay, he's dead. And you let that guy die, and that's it. But instead, they TP in one guy. That guy also dies. They still lose the tower. And then they end up getting caught when they're split pushing too afterwards with the Mirana. So it's like, it's kind of 2 mistakes in one that just is really, really impactful for this game in the progression of Kunkka, especially.
We've got some new items up on the field. So BKB.
Moonlight.
As, yeah, Moonlight Shadow up. Looking for the Blink Dagger initiation for the counter one. That's what Pasha wants to do. Ravage is ready. The arrow will connect. Kunkka. Okay, they're going to let Ramses die. He's got 7-1 charges, won't use them, and this is the difference.
Right back the other way.
Yeah, because you also lost solo. Like, this is not how they want to begin a fight, so they just dodged the fight entirely.
Yeah. And it kind of ambitious push from VP when you think about it. The sniper was jungling at the same time. So there are 4 heroes down here. They're playing into Moonlight. They don't place a single offensive ward that they got information out of for this play. And you just got to respect that that Mirana play is always there. So if you get spotted on any ward walking in, you can get countered pretty easily.
It's actually
good stuff from NIP here.
Such an interesting box as well from NIP with the ward placements they've got. Straight up around the corner. The sentry ward's only, like, it doesn't even see the one up on the hill.
The hill ward is super good. He needs to realize that there is even the possibility of this ward to vortex it.
More trouble. Once again, the Ancient Apparition having a hard time. The arrow actually spawned at the very last moment in for him.
He has BKB on time.
On Doom, yeah.
Doesn't need it. False promise.
Wow, that's not what you're expecting. That was totally necessary.
I think it's okay. He could have maybe waited a little bit longer to see the development of the fight, but it's all right. It's the first. Peter just wants to use his spells, man. Like,
yeah,
he hasn't used False Promise in the whole game. Now he's like, finally.
If I'm lowest net worth, I can still have some kind of use. I'm just wondering how...
He's been setting up a lot of kills. He's actually played a really good game so far. It's just, you know, when you're Oracle, you really want to cast False Promise. It's kind of your hero at this point. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm False Promise and I'm Medic.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean any kind of kills. The Virtus Pro have their double Blink Daggers now. So both Pasha as well as Roger have completed them up. No one's still working his way towards his BKB, and Ramses... I was actually wondering what item choice he'd go for. He's gone for Radiance on this Kunkka.
Yeah, I don't think he would have done that if he didn't get the 3 kills. I think he would have gone for something else. But now the timing is good enough still that he feels pretty good about it. And yeah, like you said, the daggers, what you want now in VP, you probably want a BKB on the Enigma, just because if you can blink BKB Black Hole the Doom +1, you can't get countered. There's nothing that stops Black Hole except Doom. There's an OD save and there's an Oracle save, but there's still, the Black Hole is still set up for a good fight for you, even if they get saved.
Interesting Moonlight Shadow. It's like they were expecting someone to be fighting up on top lane.
Bounty runes.
Yeah, 20-minute mark, but no one's going to be there. So it's a straight up 2-2 trade up.
No one is farmed.
Yeah.
He has to be, though.
But yeah, so is the rest of NIP's cause. That the rest of VP's cause aren't looking that fantastic. It's just the fact that Roger's got so much money that keeps the net worth sort of in reach.
Yeah, and considering that this is a sniper that's been free farming and has a Midas with cooldown reduction talent, he's not very far ahead right now. Wraith King's game has been good. He has Midas Radiance and 1k to boot, so probably a dagger we'll see from Ace, maybe.
They do have a dagger on OD, so they can choose that as their catch, but then you don't have it as a save. If he's going to blink Astral into arrow, if that's how you're going to initiate every fight, you kind of limit yourself. Doom is getting blink too, though, so that's going to help.
Yeah, maybe you just turn it into having like more sustain, more control from the Wraith King.
I still like the dagger on Wraith. We'll see.
Oh. Ramsey just wants to push out the lane in relative safety, hence the X mark. But I don't think Ace really wants to have anything to do with this at all.
You just know they've muted them. You know it.
It's like, go, ready. Nah, we're good, we're good. How do we know to go?
I was thinking about all chatting VP ready. I was tempted, but let's wait. Let's wait and see.
Someone has to take it for the team and be unmuted. Like, somebody has to. Or else we'll literally sit here forever waiting to go. So there's the BKB for the sniper, which will come on the courier in just a second. Just trying to get some attention, right? Ready? No, muted.
Anything they can to communicate.
Get their attention. How about you just wave your hands up in the air? Just make it. I actually think you're right, Sid.
This is actually absurd.
I think they're muted. I actually think they're muted right now.
Dude, like, I don't know. I kind of don't want to type it.
Yeah, we're not meant to. We're not meant to do
really
that.
not
Like,
meant to
like
type
if,
here,
if,
but
if there's an admin watching right now, he has to ask the question of NIP, have you muted every single player from Virtus
The
Pro?
thing is, it's honestly, I don't blame them for doing it, because this kind of chat spam can get annoying, it can get loud, it can mess up your own communication. It's like, we just want to play the game. We don't want to listen to your chat lines. Fair enough. Like, you can mute them out and play your game.
Because there's no separate
but then we
function.
need someone
You
to
can't-
tell them.
You can't mute chat lines and not mute chat, right? Like there's no function that allows you to do that.
No, the way you mute the chat lines is text. It's the text mute.
Okay.
So it mutes all text in the game as well, because it's coded in as it's a text line in the game, right? It gets posted in the chat log. So yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe something worth changing. But hey, OG wouldn't have won TI without it, right? So maybe that's one of those things you want to keep in the game.
Oh, Peter asks if they're ready. Okay.
Go. Was it Virtus Pro that hit the unpause? Yeah, it is. It's a solo.
They didn't know he said go.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, so that's the way it has to be NIP initiated conversation now. I think Virtus Pro worked it out too. Pat yourself on the back, boys.
That was good timing. Worked it out. Yay!
Boy. Alright, well, Blink Dagger's up for the Doombringer, Blink Dagger's up for the Wraith King, so there's your jump initiation arriving in twofold for NIP.
You know what voice line we need?
What? What, Send? What?
We need that. How do you explain this? It's like that. It's used in like a lot of YouTube content or whatever. The one with like a group of kids going yay together. You know what I'm talking about? Yay! We need that. That's like the ta-da of that moment there. It's like, they resumed. Yay!
Sorry, let me just...
Maybe you don't get it. It's fine.
No,
It's fine if you don't know which one it is. It's a very iconic sound for me, okay?
Okay.
It's iconic.
Middle tower is under attack.
You probably know it.
I know it. I'm just trying to think, like, hey, I wonder who owns the copyrights for that.
I mean, yeah.
It's like, it's a lot of things
That is true.
which could be used, but does Valve get to own the rights to everything? Maybe
They have a
not.
kid invoker. He can invite his friends, and then they can make that sound.
Yay!
You know, let's go.
That's it.
It's within reach.
It's like Sin. All you need to do is replicate it.
Uh-oh.
Bottom lane.
He's got his radiance flying in.
Imprisonment. Arrow
he's-
flies forward.
Oh,
Whoa.
that was really
right
on the edge.
on the edge.
Didn't really matter. I think that could have missed instead anyway. Wraith King blink dagger stun, so no problem.
Hey, I'm just thinking that the arrow, with the way it works, like if you don't hit him with a frontal spear, like is it really an arrow hit? Because you like if you're clipped with like the back feathers of an arrow, does that like you get tickled, you don't get stunned?
Yeah, but then you think about how's that possible in real life. Then you
Yeah.
realize that's not possible.
Oh yeah, sorry, logic and Dota. I can't put the two of these things together.
It's a magical arrow. There's a lot of things in Dota that are magic. And the
that
way
act is physical.
the way the arrow works is not about getting hit by the holy. That was loud.
Wait, I thought that got changed.
It's not about getting hit by the tip. It's about getting hit by the arrow. If you get hit by the arrow at all, it stuns you. That's it. There you go. Magic explanation is always very useful.
I remember that was part of the changelog like a week ago. It's like multiple things getting hit now doesn't have the huge sound effect.
That did.
Tide anchor smash against I think it was like 12 skeletons.
Yep.
As
that
well as a
sound
couple of
was
creeps. That was a good pop.
loud. Yeah. That one can stay.
Well, here comes Virtus Pro.
Oh, Blink Ravage.
Smirked up, running in with a Blink Ravage and the Ice Blast. It's all gonna hit. And maybe Fada into the back lines can do something about this. Maybe he wants to trigger a BKB. Maybe he just wants to get the hell out of here. Maybe he just wants to die.
Yeah,
Ramses gets a triple kill.
he can't even BKB TP out because of the black hole. So that's a crucial move from VP. NIP probably felt in a good position. They had like the high ground position. They were standing up there, and then the smoke's just beautiful. And yeah, like you said, 3 more kills for him. He's 7 and 8. Like,
Yeah.
when do you actually see this on a carry, like ever, in this kind of game?
But
It's pretty weird.
When do you see this on Ramses after what was a terrible start at the beginning of the game?
Yeah.
And he's still not in the top 4 net worth, and he's got 7 kills and 8 deaths.
Yeah.
Because all those deaths were in the early game, like almost every single one of them. But he's got 7 out of 9 of the kills at Virtus Pro. Now top lane, Ace jumps in, easy initiation. The minions do the work because real kings don't do that work themselves.
No, just walk away. Let
My-
your little
my-
let your little guys do it.
My people will kill your people, and then
Uh-oh.
everyone has people.
Uh-oh.
Pasha, you got the bounty rune.
Let's play some Dota. Oh.
Let's not listen to this because it's muted.
Scotty close to done on no one. He's got like 1,300 to go ish. Bit more, 1,500.
Hiding of NIP is going to get very interesting then, especially if they don't get that blink jump correct.
Yeah. This honestly is not as clear cut of a game as last game in terms of how you know you just felt in the last game that eventually NIP, unless something great happens, they were gonna run into trouble. In this game, they could win this really late too. They have the tools. It's all about who gets the jump, who has the vision, getting the Doom on Tide or Enigma, and fighting around them when they don't have those big ultis.
Being pushed back for the moment. But NIP are fine with that. Long stun arrow over on Roshan. Begins the fight. Ace again. He has his peasants to do the work. Beating into Roshan.
Marana with the
It's-
Solar Crest.
There's Solo's like, I'm going to put an observe ward up. Wait, why have I got 2 sentries here to kill? Oh, damn it. Going for the second sentry's going to kill me. It's next level. Play. Ace finds it.
And back to Roche. Now they don't have Ice Blast to scout with. Not back to Roche?
Well, they got Ravage up
Back
in
to
3 seconds timed, and so maybe they want to do it, but the BKB's coming in for Roger. They're going to have to kill Roshan pretty fast.
NIP or VP can't win this fight unless multiple heroes stack in the pit. I don't think the fight is really possible. Like they're gonna have to initiate in, find a good black hole. Wraith King will still have ulti, and
It's not gonna
they don't have an AA blast. This is just not.
They're on the other side of the map. What are they waiting for? They're waiting for OD
They
to
want
come over?
Yeah, they want fast to get the Aegis.
Okay. So, OD protected. Love how he goes for his movement speed as well over the null increase. Just backpacking the null.
Yeah, I like that too. I think the move speed's probably more valuable. Which is a bit weird when you think about it, because the null costs twice as much, but or almost 3 times as much.
It just feels like it's less efficiency, right? But what you need. So BKB's done for no one. Ramses is working on his own.
Oh, it's actually only twice.
And
Okay.
with all these BKBs, you crunching the math now?
Yeah.
With all these BKBs, it does start to limit the effect of Fada. But that's why he's going in for this Blink Scythe. Can't use BKB if you're turned into a pig. And smoke up from NIP.
Okay, this is a big moment.
They move towards mid. Pasha. Let's see how fast his reaction can come in. He's not feeling right about something. So they come back underneath their own observer and sentry. Roger's taking care of the bottom, but no one's adding pressure. And now Ace, it's Solo again. With a blink forward, there's no way Solo can survive. Goes for the Cold Fierce Walls of Vortex,
BKB.
instantly taken off. And with the BKB from no one, they work with the Ravage to bring down first the OD. To break through the Aegis Immortal, and Roger hits the black hole. 33 is trapped in here. The ship will come in as well. Fada, he's just got no life. He's got no movement speed. Ace ran around the back lines, but now no one can just change his target. Try and kite out Ace, but Ace has to just BKB and TP away to safety. Assassination will give the extra damage to get this kill over onto 33. Tries to juke inside the fog of war of Roshan, but Roger jumps forward. No one's turn to get the triple kill. And that's a nice way to now go 4-0-6 on this sniper and definitely hit number 1 in net worth.
Yeah, almost got Mjolnir now. That's you know, it's one of those moments where I don't know if NIP know about Roger's BKB, but that's the game changer or the fight changer right there, right? Like there's the respawning hero and there's the Doom that is standing next to the grave, so he just casts Black Hole in good time. They combo it with the Ghost Ship and just follow through with all of their spells. Very nicely coordinated from VP. And that's a big win. They got multiple kills. They take the mid tower. No one BKBs to TP out. Wow. Whoops. It happens.
Hey, safety.
It was pretty big in that moment, actually, that when Fata blinked up because he saw the sniper after the AA kill, no one BKB'd when Fata blinked in to banish him. So Fata was caught in this awkward limbo in between and kind of just ended up having no impact in the fight because of it. If no one gets banished there by OD, Fata can reconsider and reposition himself, change his approach to the fight, but wasn't given that luxury.
30-minute bounty runes. Hey, Solo, would you mind being the sacrificial one?
Hey, dude, you want to pull him back next time?
It's all fine. It's fine. It's just Solo. He can die again for that.
The moment he gets stunned, you get him the hell out of there. There's no way he gets that rune.
Man, he's actually,
come on, man.
He's actually in the running for the Melk Award. He's 0-10 if Virtus Pro is capable of winning this game. But my God, he's hitting hard.
A lot of his deaths have been good though in this game. Have to.
It's always for a purpose.
You have to remember how many of his deaths have actually kept cores alive. He's tanked arrows for his teammates. He's tanked smokes.
Pulling forward.
It's good.
Nice imprisonment. The arrow's too far away though, so you'll need to have Wraith King also jump. And they don't want to do that. Instead it goes the opposite direction. The jump comes in once again from Pasha with the Ravage. Ace's TP out will not complete in time, so the reincarnation will burn. Ice Blast will have no effect, but Ace cannot walk away. No one with a double kill. Assassination flies forward, but it's just Asuka running into the trees.
No one is so strong.
Yeah.
Wow.
At least Suxa was able to escape. Upside. But no one's popping out so much damage. And what does he get next? He's already attacking so hard and fast.
Yeah, you buy some damage, I think. Buy a damage item. Daedalus might be good. You have the attack speed from Mjolnir. I think Daedalus is really good here, actually. Probably the best item. Let's see. And again, another, like, you gotta be on your toes as an IP. If you stack up your heroes just a little bit wrong, you get blink ravaged like that, fight's over. Peter can't get caught. He needs to play behind heroes, and they need to make space for him in the fight. If Oracle ever presents himself, it's so easy to just make the snap decision to go in, because then the save is dead, and you can just continue to roll through the fight with Sniper in the back lines.
Sniper's going to go for Lincoln Sphere as well.
That's very defensive.
And
BKB Lincoln Scotty?
You're getting another one over on the Tidehunter too. So it's double Lincolns on the way for VP.
Maybe it's like, the only way I die is if I get hexed by OD, right? But that can still happen when you have a Lincolns. If you blink Astral instant hexes, you still need to be pretty quick on your fingers to react to that one. If OD comes out of the fog, he's going to catch you off guard.
Unless they end up just giving like both Lincolns over.
Oh, he changed his mind. He's going Satanic. I don't like this. I honestly don't like the Lincolns that much here. I think it's good he changed his mind, but I don't know if I would have changed the Satanic either.
And IP's coming for the fight. PPD. First man up, first man down. Observer and Sentry's being planted. Alright, they're just going to do the dewarding. And
Solo.
Sol once again on the front lines.
No.
Ace jumps in.
No.
Number 11.
Did you see that crit? 777. Let's go the jackpot on that one. And Solo is 0 and 11. Okay.
Yeah,
9 more to go.
he'll get there. I believe in miracles. Actually, I have never actually given a full Malk Award out since the initial Malk Award.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened
Yeah,
in a competitive game.
let alone TI.
Yeah, well.
Sure, smoke underneath the ob, so NIP. Good information. Know that Roger and Pasha are waiting for an opportunity. As they Moonlight Shadow underneath the Dire Observer Ward. There is the Gem of True Sight over on Tidehunter, but they're using the arrows to just check the trees.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And time just keeps ticking by, waiting for Roshan. He may respawn in 40 seconds time. Then we'll see the real counter.
NIP are losing all their words.
Yeah. And problem when you put down your Observer and Sentry, then you see an Observer and Sentry, you're going to lose everything. And another Mirana with another Aghanim Scepter, BKB from Ramses.
Yes, too.
Really wants to kill off Doom, and okay, he uses it after he gets X marked back.
He's too fast.
And I think Ace is looking for another kill over on Solo. He's coming forward to do the warding. The arrow flies forward, doesn't connect on its target.
Solo might think there's a ward now with that arrow flying in. He put down a sentry, but there's no ward. So.
And they're so paranoid as well about going for these bounties. Both the bounties on bottom can go to Suxa.
Oh, he could have checked that rune, actually.
I think he's also paranoid. Like, they only saw one hero showing up on top.
Yeah.
And as you said, like, the vision is gone. So, what do? You go back, you continue to farm. You got Aghanim Scepter Mirana for our second time today.
I love this assassinate talent. It's so good. Like, the way it sounds when you cock up the gun and then shoot it right away is so perfect. It's like click, click, boom. Right away.
Yeah, that was a fun song. We always used to play that song. And the old, well, before copyright. I mean, wait, copyright always existed.
Before copyright.
Before we cared about copyright. Alright, so NIP. Look towards Roshan. Virtus Pro should look towards that bottom bounty rune. They'll probably be very surprised once they realize it's still there.
Yeah, I'm going to see it eventually. I think no one's going to run through it now. And we're like, hey.
Hey, oh,
Oh,
money!
nice.
Sure. I'll take that 112 for everybody. And NIP is so cautious about going for Roshan, and you can't blame them. Like, there's so many huge AoE abilities that can just destroy them if they get into a choke position. That's why Ace is just never-ending army of minions inside the jungle getting information. Now the Scythe is completed on OD, so they bought the time for Fada.
And this Roshan is really the big thing to look out for both teams. They're not going to let it go.
Yeah.
The big thing right now is getting useful vision, and NIP have secured themselves good vision over the top rune area and a bit of vision leading into the river. So they should know if VP are trying to do something, and VP on the other side have their own defensive ward on their side of the river, and then they have a ward that oversees mid so they don't get backstabbed, and they have a ward top that's got 4 minutes left on it, actually. That gives them some pretty good info too. And it's kind of just about like who gets
Sorry.
useful info first.
Ward gone.
Well, that's one down.
Plus 250 for Pasha.
Yep.
Advantage of having a gem. Alright, Moonlight Shadow, but they do it right on top of the Dire Observe ward in front
They
of
might
the
still
tier 1
get a
tower.
Doom off on Tide. Maybe.
Pasha is close, but now 33.
That
gonna
is
blink.
greedy.
Wow. he
Wow,
actually-
that's so greedy.
He's gonna BKB anyway. And now
Oh my. I can't believe you just did that. That's actually the greediest thing I've seen today. Wow, dude.
Irish flying forward once again. Ramses finds himself a target, but defensive imprisonment. Save is available. And I found a way that no one's able to, Solo's able to survive. He just sits back behind the tier 2 tower. That's on the other side of the map you can play.
He's still pretty useful to his team, though. He's got a Glimmer Cape and Ice Vortex. I think that's a kind of a criminally underrated spell, actually. When we talk about AA, people put, you know, focus mainly on the Cold Feet and the Ice Blast, but Vortex is a sick skill. Even level 1 is such a great value point. It costs 40 mana, and it's a 15% slow that gives vision and gives magic amp. In a pretty big area. And he took the cooldown reduction talent, so he can have 10 of these at a time. Right now, if he casts them non-stop. He does not have mana for that. But in theory...
If he actually had items, then he might be able to do this.
He's eyeing an eggs. I don't know about that.
Maybe they feel this game's gonna go on that long.
I guess it's good for outlasting Oraculty. That might be why he's buying it.
You see 33, like, it's like, okay, well, I know what I need for this late game. Like, I need an Aghanim Scepter as well over on the Doombringer. Getting a Pistol Blade build up from Ace. Fada's going in for Shivas after having Hex. PPD's just dreaming of a better world.
Yeah.
But I always love this with Miranas, like these 4-position Miranas that we've seen now 2 of today, where you're just able to get Saxler now, like a Blink Dagger, an Aghanim Scepter, nuke a creep wave, and he can just solo push everything. And it won't matter if Roger has Eidolon conversions. They're all going to die.
Yep.
40-minute bounty runes again. Got it.
Why did Kunkka just say welcome back to Tide? You're supposed to hate him.
Well, obviously, they have to play on the same team, so they've managed to put the differences behind themselves.
Only for a moment.
Only, yeah.
But yeah, winning is fun, so it's probably worth it. Any big talents coming up, actually? So no one's got 25, and he took the attack range. Nobody else is 25. So the next one's coming up, Kunkka 25, probably going to take the Ghost Ship Fleet. And tied with a 250 damage or 25% CDR. Both talents are really good. And for the other side, Wraith King will more than likely take the Blast.
The Reincarnation cast, Wraith
The
Fire
Wraith
Blast.
Fast.
Wraith.
Yeah, okay.
Death Fast.
He doesn't have good enough cores for the Vampiric Aura.
They're going in. How quick can VP do this under the cover of smoke? NIP. They're close. Here comes the arrow. Flies forward. Just short of no one. So Roshan down to 50%. Trying to get rid of the illusion so he doesn't see the information inside the pit. Another arrow flies in. This one will connect over on Sniper. Ace jumps in. Fada with the BKB. Where's the extra help? You're already going to lose no one, or are you? The Roger! Black Hole is doing the work, but no one. He also got stunned up by Roshan. He's trying to attack through this. Let this Titanic do his work with the Ravage. They're buying the time. Doom is the first one to die out of all of this. Buyback now to come thick and fast after Rame's got himself a double kill. And PPD holding a Roger in position with a follow-up stun. They maybe have enough damage to get the kill. Yes, they do with the Infernal Blade. Roshan still so low on life, 880 HP. Virtus Pro, they're doing everything they can. Now Mirana, leap in, she'll get hit. Ace is back in again. You've already lost the Mirana. The kill, it goes the way of the Radiant. 33's got the A, goes to the Immortal. They'll stand their ground. The Torrent connects over on 3.
Oh my God.
They just go up, and then they come down just as hard. Aegis doesn't mean jack, it just means you get to die again.
Oh, that Ice Blast, dude. That was... Oh. Depending on who you cheer for, you either hate or love to see it. I don't really cheer for anyone. I just want to see good spellcasting. That was... Oh, man. That's so satisfying.
You know what? At the end of this game, like, I'd actually like to watch that replay again. Like, I'm fairly certain we can bring that up. Save it for the archives.
There were so many things in that fight. I'm guessing we might. Let's see if the game actually ends here.
Yeah, the game may end.
But
There's 3 heroes who do not have buyback for over a minute.
So the main
if
thing
VP
I wanna-
work this out, they just and they do it. They just go straight for the tier 4 towers.
Yeah.
They understand the buyback
Yeah.
conditions because they
Yeah.
actually burnt them for that fight. So this is the game. This is Virtus Pro winning this.
Game ogre.
Yep.
Wow, that was a sick fight. There were so many cool things in that fight from both teams, really.
And then the instant hit on Ace as he came in too. They hit PPD in the back line. Solo will take care of him. He actually ends up finishing this game with kills. But GG, well played. Virtus Pro will 2-0 NIP. But as we get our victory screen, we'll ask our production to actually bring us back to that